Hello, can you hear me? Let's take that off. Can everyone hear me loud and clear?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. All right, so let me share the headlines for today so that we can just get an idea of what is going on out there. I know a lot of you know about it, but just for the sake of the viewers, let's do that.
Today marks 1 full week since the war between Iran and Israel erupted. 7 days of relentless missile strikes, rising casualties, and mounting diplomatic tension. In Iran, 657 people have been killed, while 24 killed in Israel. In the latest escalation, Iran launched a barrage of 35 missiles into Israeli territory, striking multiple cities. In the northern port city of Haifa, 2 people were seriously injured as explosions rocked a residential area in the city's main port. Thick black smoke was seen billowing into the sky, casting a grim shadow over the urban skyline there in Israel. Israel's military said 25 fighter jets carried out targeted airstrikes early Friday as well, hitting missile storage facilities and launch infrastructure in western Iran. Hypersonic missiles sliced through the atmosphere at blistering speed, followed by the thunderous roar of next-generation ballistic missiles. Each barrage more devastating than the last. Israel's famed missile defenses are buckling, arrow interceptors running dangerously low, and the Iron Dome is stretched to the breaking point. The battlefield is shifting, and Iran's arsenal continues to throw out new surprises towards Israel. Our next report telling you more.
Missile trails scorch the sky as Iran unleashes wave after wave of advanced firepower, bleeding Israel in a relentless campaign of attrition. Friday morning began in Israel with yet another wave of missile attacks. These are the scenes of destruction in the southern city of Beersheba. The same city was hit on Thursday. The ruins of Soroka Medical Center tell the tale of the devastating attack.
It's so sad. I never thought something like this could happen. Never. It's only medical professionals here and patients. And look what happened to us.
Hypersonic missiles, which are extremely difficult to intercept, slam into Israeli military installations and critical infrastructure, leaving smoldering craters and shattered command centers. The Israeli Air Force's relentless sorties cannot stem the tide as Iran's missile factories, some hidden deep within the mountains, continue to churn out new weapons.
The Islamic Republic is continuing to launch ballistic missile attacks at Israel, 11 rounds of which since the fighting started. And Iran is largely engaging in what we call a counter-value operation, meaning they're targeting civilian population centers largely in a bid to erode the will of the Israelis to fight.
Iranian officials taunt that new generation of missiles are still on the shelf, hinting at even deadlier barrages to come. With each passing day, Israel's strategic depth erodes, its population gripped by fear and uncertainty as sirens wail from Haifa to Beersheba.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, if you are here, for joining us. This is the what I like to think as the elite section where this is not where you just say something and you get away with it. You shall be called out. This is
You
not
shall
a
prove.
this is not a nice place. You have to show evidence for what you say here. This is a place of truth telling.
Those who allege it must
Evidence-based
prove.
discussion. This is, I'm sorry to say, those that have the liver to be here will be here. And if you want to hear the truth, you want to be here, because this is as close as it comes, because we seek it from each other. When you say something, you have to prove it. Welcome, Oga James. I think James should, he was here first, to be fair to him. He was here for, let me get him up. Okay, so as I was saying, there is a lot of implications for what has just happened in the past weeks, since Israel went on to attack Iran. And one of them that a lot of people are not necessarily talking about is the implication for BRICS, the implication of how people see Russia and China. And because the AES, Burkina Faso, Traore, and all of them, they will be thinking, hey, if this guy saw it, where this stuff is going on with Iran, we are done for. So, and it makes the West seem like they are willing to back whoever they like. Like if the West is supporting Israel, they will back Israel to the hilt. And if you look at the way the Arab countries are aligned with Israel, that is scary to watch. And you can see how people wield power. And the Europeans, say whatever you like about them, they are gifted at making people do their dirty works. It has to be a gift. It's like juju. You get other people to die for you. It's like Ukrainians are just busy dying all over the place on behalf of them. And this is how they won the First and Second World Wars. And history is about to repeat itself again. If they will get Israel to do the dirty work, and they may not even get to join it. And God knows if Iran doesn't fall. But if Iran stands because of, the question is whether it's because of them or whether it's because of Russia or China. Because if it's not because of Russia or China, after this is done, after this is settled, the Americans will just carry their ships, NATO will carry everything, and they will go and barricade China inside there. And they warn every other nation that is out there, if you trade with these people, if you see what happened in Syria and you see what happened in Gaza, they will tell you that if you move an inch, you will pay a heavy price for it. And I think the Chinese will be squeezed, and they would have made the mistake they made in the past, where they kept playing a game of this aloofness, where now they are saying it's trade deal, it's only trade that they care about. Before, that's how they were. When the Japanese were engaging in geopolitics, they were not engaging. And there could be consequences to that if they don't do that this time. So I really hope that they don't repeat that history, and they give the world a chance of having at least an alternative to the West. Because if the West reigns supreme, we are all in doo-doo. I'm telling you, I don't even know what that world would look like. All I can tell you is that in the 90s, we were in hell. And they had supreme power then. The Soviet Union was not there anymore. Russia, Boris Yeltsin was a drunk, was in pieces, but Nigeria was not in heaven. We're having all kinds of problems. The Rwanda genocide has occurred. Just everywhere was in tatters, and they were just running roughshod over everybody. The greatest time in the world where people had a lot of progress was in the 60s or so. That was when the Soviet Union was at its height. Even for the Western people themselves, that was their best time. That's when people remember the best time, they remember that period, because they felt that they felt richer. Because the rich, the rich in America, there was a time they were taxing them up to 90%. That was because of the power of the Soviet Union, because socialism was so appealing, everything was free. It was so appealing. The moment the Soviet Union fell, now we are in the hands of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Bill Gates, and they are telling us, and we can't look the rest. So there are implications to this. There are big games being played here, and for the life of me, I don't know what India, China and Russia, they are doing. I think they are not playing it very well, if you ask me. So far, maybe they are doing things behind the scenes. People keep telling me they are doing things behind the scenes. Maybe, but all people are seeing is the West is standing by their people. And Putin is saying that, oh, Iran didn't say they should sign peace defense pact with us. They just said we should do trade and all the rest. That we even told them that we should work together with them on their airspace defense. That they didn't reply to that. So, and all these things is just making me question, why is it that nobody signs defense pact with Russia or China? But a lot of people sign defense pact with the West. As a matter of fact, they have their own NATO. That is why they are going to win. They will win. If the rest of the world don't do that, they will win. Because people that band together are organized as a group. Why shouldn't they win? That's my take. So I don't know what you think about what is happening there, Bro James. I would like to hear, because you do have a historical perspective on most of these things.
Yeah, unfortunately, I will not be able to answer your question because
I beg everybody's pardon. I beg your pardon, Brother James. And I'll just like to ask Forefather, because the last show finished, and I was watching the last show, and I was about to come on, but the time was going. So now that I've come on, I wonder if I and anybody else who wasn't here before can go after Brother James. I'm asking.
I will not. I just want to round up because in this near.
No, I'm asking Forefather if you were allowed that.
It depends. I will when Bro James finishes, I will seek permission from the illustrious sons that were present before.
They've all spoken before.
Let Jago go after Mr. James. I mean, we've all spoken. Yeah.
All right.
Well, if I were the United States or let's say world powers, there is a way out of this problem. At the end of Second World War, the League of Nations ceased to exist. They formed the United Nations because the League of Nations was not able to prevent an outbreak of world war. That's one of the principal reasons why it was, scrapped. Now, for the United Nations to continue to exist, what I think they should do now, the Secretary General should assemble all the world powers, Iran, United States, Israel, all the stakeholders, and even one or two African countries, because it's going to be an international conference. They should say that Palestine state should come into existence, but under certain conditions. Palestine, if we give you a state, what is the guarantee that Israel will not be attacked? And should you attack Israel, are you prepared to forgo your sovereignty because you now become a mandated territory of the United Nations? If they say yes, that is good. Iran, if we give Palestine a state, what conditions do you want us to fulfill to enable you forgo your uranium enrichment program? Something like that. Then they sign an international treaty carrying the same weight as the treaty or the Charter of the United Nations. If they agree and the state of Palestine come into existence, this crisis we are talking about today will fizzle out. Iran will have no reason whatsoever to continue with what they are doing. As for the Jews, they'll be given the guarantee you will no longer be wiped out. The state of Israel should be divided into three, as agreed on at Balfour Declaration of 1948. A territory for the Jews, a territory for the Arabs, and a neutral territory, that is Jerusalem, to be controlled either by the UN or an agreement to be worked out. If they don't agree, the UN should be scrapped. But unfortunately, if the UN is scrapped, it will be extremely difficult to work another agreement to replace the United Nations because of the complexity of the world at the moment. But an easy way out is just what I've just described, although it's not all that easy. So that is how I see it.
There's only one point I wanted to raise.
Yes.
Iran internationally does have a right, like every nation, to enrich. It's about whether you are developing nuclear weapons. This is what Iran is trying to make people understand. That why is it that they are being attacked for doing something that is supposed to be legal internationally?
No, the issue is this. What the Jews went through during the Second World War, they have vowed that never again will it happen. Now, these are people who are saying categorically that we are going to wipe Israel out of the map. They've said it, and they are taking concrete steps towards that direction. If they are saying they want to use it for peaceful purposes, they have all the oil deposits in the world in Iran. They can generate their energy from oil and gas. Why uranium?
Because it is their right one. And Israel, okay, are you saying Israel has a special status whereby they are allowed to have nuclear weapons?
I'm not. Israel, to me, is more or less a nuisance state. Let me put it that way. You get the point? Because look, they bombed a hospital in Beersheba not long ago. They are crying that they never imagined such a thing will happen, forgetting that this is exactly what they've been doing in Gaza. They've rubbished all the hospitals in Gaza. To them, there's nothing wrong with it. So, Israel has got very little or nothing to say as far as this arrangement is concerned, because it is international. This is how I see it. Because Israel, look, take it. Israel is not a world power. Israel is not a world power.
They are a nuclear power. They are a serious nuclear power, and they have been proven that they can use it.
Look, the issue is if they bomb the Iranian nuclear sites with this their super bomb, I don't know what they call it. Remember that Israel has got a nuclear reactor in Dimona. It's in the Negev Desert. I saw it when I went to visit some Americans living near there in Israel. It's in a city called Dimona. That's where the nuclear reactor is. If you bomb their what we call nuclear reactors in Iran, be rest assured that all the ballistic missiles, all the supersonic missiles in Iran will be directed at that nuclear reactor. Be rest assured. So it's not. This is not a game. They should take.
We are in trouble.
I think I heard an Iranian saying on YouTube that death is sweeter than honey. That was a statement somebody made. And to me, it is very weighty for somebody to say death is sweeter than honey. To them, death means nothing. As far as they will be martyred and they will go to paradise. So, it is time for the international community to call Israel to task. We Africans should take this matter very serious, because when Britain offered Uganda to settle these people, if they had succeeded in planting them in Uganda, what stopped them from teaming up with apartheid South Africa in the south? And they seized the whole land through Egypt up to Palestine. They construct Cicero Rhodes was talking about constructing a railway line from Cape Town to Cairo. With them in Uganda, it will have been a dream come true. So we Africans, we are extremely lucky. We do not know, although I don't believe in the existence of God, but we do not know what God has done for us. Because of those people, black people who demonstrated in Britain against the decision. This war they are fighting in Middle East today would have been an African war. And tell me, which African country will be able to do what the Iranians are doing today?
Who knows? Maybe our eye will shine by force.
Can I say something about that thing about Uganda? What Mr. James
No, you're going to go on for ages.
No, I'm not going to go on for ages.
Jago took permission. He said,
I'm not saying much. It's the same thing. So I want to say that the Ugandan thing, also, apart from the fact that it was an African struggle against what they were trying to plant in Africa using Israel in Uganda, also, we need to understand that also, Israel also, the elites, the Zionists, at that time, they also said that we wanted to go to a place where we have at least some element of historical affiliation. And they felt that, okay, then it's probably going to be in West Asia. They considered not just Uganda, they considered Argentina as well. But they insisted that let it be somewhere where they have some elements, of, historical, by biblical justification. And that was why they eventually took
They are not the people who are they? The Bible said they are God's chosen people. So God did not choose me. God chose them to determine where they should stay. You get the point I'm making? So, to me, it's unacceptable, because the people of Uganda were not even consulted when Britain gave out the territory. If they had settled there, Take it or leave it. No African country will be able to do what the Iranians are doing today. And remember, the Iranians are patients. The Palestinians are Arabs. It's on religious grounds. That's why they are doing what they are doing today. And they are prepared to go to hell over this matter. So I think the United Nations should live up to its responsibility. If not, they should dissolve it and work out a new arrangement. The UN has outlived its usefulness if it cannot solve this problem. And the Israelis should be made to understand that the international community is far more important than Israeli interests. Israel is a subset of the international community. A subset cannot be greater than the whole. So this is what they should make crystal clear to them. And the American people too at home, I expect them to take over the streets right now, but they are all keeping quiet.
They are talking online, no. They are talking tough.
This has exceeded talking. They should take over the streets, because what is at stake right now, look, if this war happened to progress, the geopolitical setup in the whole wide world will be changed. And who knows how it's going to affect Africa. Because let's say the war is going on, for example, they can fire a missile to Jerusalem and they tell you the missile was fired from Uganda or from Kenya or from South Africa. Just like the Pearl Harbor of 1940-something. If the Japanese actually dropped that bomb or not, it's still people are still contesting it. They can lie against Africa, and for that reason, they tell you the whole of Africa has been colonized.
He's gone.
Because of minerals.
Let me come in.
So Africans should be. This is the time for our heads of states, Bola Tinubu, Ramaphosa, and other. They should wake up. Now that the world is engaged with a very serious problem, they will focus less attention on them. This is the time for them to come together and work out the modalities on how to govern the continent of Africa after this crisis. But they are all busy running after Natasha and what have you.
Thank you for that. Now let's go to Jagon, and
yes.
after
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us, Mr.
Thank you, Mr.
Don't run away. Why are you running? Why are you running?
I'm going to Iraq.
It's time to sleep.
I'm going to Iraq to monitor what's happening in Iraq.
That's a great journey for you.
Yeah, thank you. It's very bad time. I want to go and sleep. Thank you so much indeed. I'll see you all next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, nice one. Jagon, what do you make of these disturbing things? Do you think Trump will, jump in and, try to bomb Iran? And...
Let me try and give us a little roundabout as far as I can ascertain my thoughts over the last week or so. I would want to actually ask everyone, and that's why I really wanted for our brother to stay on board before he left, James. I want to ask everyone, and this is not to be answered, or maybe you answer when it's your turn or something like that. Do you not see the script that is being performed at the moment? And when I say the script, I speak of a script of a play or film or some kind of entertainment storytelling. And when I look at what's going on and the duplicity that's being played out in front of our eyes, whereby I would contain that a lot of people who are looking at opposite sides almost within the same camp, that they know the script and that they are following the script. And when you look at scripture, and I speak of the Bible in particular, in terms of what it tells you, I don't think there's any real competition in terms of spirituality, where the book of Revelations is concerned, and whether or not we've read that or we look at prophecy at all, just to juxtapose it to what's going on in the world today. And if you do that exercise, you'll see a little bit more clearly I will put it to anyone. What you're seeing on CNN and all your newscasting channels, I'm letting you know that, boy, this or something very close to looking like this is the beginning of the Third World War in reality. There are things that are supposed to go on as revelation underlines that if you look at the timeline, you can see where in the newspaper you are reading, what day you are reading. And what I mean by that is that there are still many prophecies yet to happen, yet to take place. And this can be found not just in Revelation, it can be found in Daniel, it could be found in Ezekiel, in one or two of the paragraphs that they're meant for this time in particular. It can be found in Jeremiah. Now, I'm just saying this to remind all of us that all is not known. We can speculate on a little that we do know, but that which is happening in that which is happening in closed doors, under closed doors, we just got to keep watching and seeing how far along the script are they going to take it, if we're going to go. So I say all that not to confuse anybody, but to let everyone know that the future that we are presently in is happening in rapid time. And the organization that I'm really happy to hear as the panel speak about, which is what are we going to do about this situation? How do we take advantage of this? How do we look after ourselves in the interim? These are the questions that I've been battling with for the past 15, 20, 25 years, to be frank. Because I know that this day that we're presently in is coming, and I've known it's coming for an awfully long time. So I'm asking everybody, as you are looking at this as political news, and whilst you have a heart and you know what life and death really is, there is I wanted to really put it to Brother James, there is, whether we like it or not, or whether we are ignorant or righteous, there is definitely an invisible space where a lot is going on. And as there is such a thing, I would say that this invisible space has to be searched. It has to be tested. And you have to know what side you're on. I mean, I'm going to leave it there. I'm hoping I didn't confuse everyone.
You definitely did, because you know where we are. This is a space where we talk with concrete this in details and
what did I say that wasn't? What did I say that wasn't concrete?
When you start using this revelation quote, and
well, my brother, all I did, I spoke about something that is actually in this. I spoke about I didn't speak something that is in the inferior. The Revelation book is in this planet, and you can go and get it viscerally. What I'm speaking about is when you look at the world and you look at that. Tell me the difference. Tell me what you're seeing is different.
The difference.
You understand? You're not ready for that, forefather.
You're
not ready for that, bro.
There are no ballistic missiles. There are no planets.
Well, they're not. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying. All right, it's all right. Welcome, Jagon. Anyway, I think I can see your vitality is coming back. Perfect. So nice one. Welcome. Who is next? Precise.
You are. Once I'm next, you will be asking who is next, just to get rid of it.
After AY.
Welcome, AY. So, what do you make of this issue? I mentioned that Israel is 75 times smaller than this in Iran, and the media is just running away like Iran has lost. They are going to die. It's like, what is going on? What do you make of this whole episode? They're making it look like Iran is dead.
The thing is, what's going on is a little bit concerning to me as regards the Nigeria Africa thing. Sometime when I listen to our discussion, I will just be I will lose some kind of hope, But today, I actually gain a lot of hope because when I listen to people like Mr. James, when I listen to Festus, when I listen to Jide on this topic today, in all honesty, I was very encouraged that we still have Nigeria that know where we are going, that know what the time is. With Jaguar, I was a bit disappointed. I think this is Jaguar's weakest submission ever. I thought I was going to learn something because I always look up to Jagu to speak. It's not disrespect, Jagu.
No, I don't take it disrespectfully.
Yeah.
I think I would even from what you say, I know that I went over a lot of people's heads, which is probably what I shouldn't have done. You know, I went a different tack. However, I'm following you, especially with the history that we got from.
Yeah, I was really waiting to learn some things from Jagu. You know,
don't worry, the session is not over.
So what I'm really getting at from this, I'm looking at this. Sometimes when I think, forefather, there are some things you're gonna say. People think you crazy, man, but you end up being right. For example, forefather will say, I think something needs to happen to us first for us to understand what we have, for us to understand the unity where we're going. Sometimes I begin to think it's true because I don't want something to happen to us as people. But I think if we experience anything tragic, I think we are gonna sit up because the division is not gonna help us in any way. There was something Mr. Jide mentioned today when he was talking of the Benue team. These issues, most times the people manipulate the system. They bring ethnic, they bring religion. We need journalists that can open their heart to do a serious research what is going on in Nigeria. Because if, for example, you go study what has been going on in Zamfara State for more than 50 years, I know. If you go to the villages, if you go to the background, it was about resources in Zamfara. Nothing more. These bandits were going to villages where they have this thing, they're gonna slaughter people like animals. Any area you see them doing that, that is what is happening. But I feel it's just a big distraction for us because they know Nigeria when it comes to tribe, when it comes to religion, we are very emotional. People pull the whole blame along this line. We need to wake up. It's not a joke anymore. We need to wake up. We need to wake up and try to be objective. If you are objective, you open up, you're going to learn about all this stuff. Again, if I will have journalists that will go deeper and do this research, they will bring something very good out. You know, what is going on in Iran, when this thing happened, I was confused. Okay, what if this thing happened to us? Like, where are we going to start from? We are not thinking.
We don't even have bomb shelters.
It's serious.
Israel has bomb shelter. We don't have bomb shelter. We'll just be standing and waiting for the end.
Yes.
That's
because
I'm not getting
because that is why. Amen. That is why anytime the discussion is so about my tribe, my religion, my tribe, I'm like, bro, we got a bigger fight. So you now ask yourself, God forbid, if any country attack Nigeria today, for example, are we going to be talking of our tribe? Are you not going to wake up to defend every region, to defend your people? Are you not going to wake up, especially we the men? You're not going to fight for your country? That's the question I think we should ask ourselves. Am I going to say, no, it's an Osama, I'm not going to defend it. It's an Ibom, I'm not. It's a Yoruba, I'm not going to defend it. I'm sure with all of us, we're going to come together and say, listen, Omo, this is battle. We got to defend our country. I'm pretty sure we're going to do that. We need to be careful. We need to have serious, this issue when we coming down to a tribe, especially where we are is above it all. I'm still saying, let's as a country, let's come together, build a Nigeria bloc in terms of security, walk along the West Africa region. At least let's have West Africa bloc first. Then we can now be expanding more, building more alliance. Look at even West Africa is divided right now. The ECOWAS was just scattered recently, because of the action of Ogoni Tinubu too, where you're supposed to be looking for how to. You are telling the people that, oh, you are under the tight this thing to go attack Niger. Are you crazy? Like, you don't have people that you don't have good advisors. Where are the advisors? You don't know. Even me, that is a little boy. Bola Tinubu, do you need to be in the military to understand the implication of what you wanted to do? And today, the country, they are telling you to hell with you. Niger, they are not supposed to. When Lagos State speak, they're supposed to run away. Now they are telling you, hey, to hell with you. Who are you? So we need to think more about ourselves. It's getting more obvious what is going on in the world. Thank you.
Yeah, it's one of those things now that, like I was saying before, that it's hard to convince people of these things, the necessity of these things. You have to be alive to even be tribal, to have the luxury of being tribal or saying, I want to break up the country. You have because that challenge is always going to come. And I remember when I was watching this story about the Russians when, Germany was attacking them. They were not, they were just retreating, thinking that was going to solve the problem at first. And they were not fighting hard enough. When they discovered that the Germans were just executing almost all the people that they were catching, about 2 million was executed within a couple of weeks or so, they sat up that this is the fight for life. They were, it's to fight for your life. This is serious stuff. Germany was just racing through them and just obliterating everything. And those people, and their children are there today. When they are obliterated, this is why they can sit there and watch the Gazans keep getting slaughtered every day. It's like nothing to them. You might think it's something, but to them that make these decisions, it's nothing to them. Every day they keep getting slaughtered. And this is why when this type of stuff comes to us, when we witness these things, man, if we are lucky and we survive it, we will never forget it again. Because it's hard to convince people with mouth. I can say it here, you can say it here all you want. Until our people feel it, they will not make it number one and say, you know what? There is no point for anything else. Let's get this thing sorted out. Because if this will come back again, we are not going to make it. When you know that they're going to go, the Chinese, they saw pepper in the hands of the Japanese. The Japanese almost completely destroyed their country. They were fighting them and ambushing them from different sides. They almost defeated the Communist Party. The massive country like China, small Japan wanted to destroy it completely. When I saw the documentary, the way the Japanese were moving, it's unbelievable. I was like, these guys they meant business, and they went on to fight Americans too. A small nation like Japan, how can you imagine how powerful they were? That's how a nation that has power, the potential they have. And you might think that Israel is small today, but the minds of the people are giants. That's how you become, and our people need to start understanding that that's how the world works. If you think small, you will be small, and those people that think big, they will come and do whatever they like with you. So I wanted to share a map with you, and before Festus coming. So
no, I think before Festus, for fathers.
I think that's for you actually. Yeah, because you are the geopolitics guy, so it's good that you see this one. Let me see if I can get. Where is this map? Why is it not showing up? Okay, hold on. Let me take this one back, and then get this map to pop up. See, this is the map of the nations that are Western aligned or this in European aligned, or Chinese Eastern. So if you look at all the red areas are the nations that are leaning towards China or Russia. The African ones, they are not very serious apart from the AES areas. Those AES pink one, that Niger that you're seeing there, is part of the African one. Syria has just gone west. Syria is in between, and at this stage, it's already gone this into the west. So Syria should be blue now. Syria should be blue. And Iran, if Iran goes blue, and these other ones are neutral, India is already blue. India pretends as if they are straddling anything, they're already blue. There's nothing supremacist India doesn't love. Do you know India is very friendly with Israel right now, while Israel is slaughtering a lot of people there. They are very friendly with Israel. They hardly condemn it. Then you can see the other nations that are around that Asian this area that are this in aligned with China. If Iran falls, many of these smaller nations that used to back China, they would think twice. They would think that, like, why is it that all the blue side, they back each other up, but the red side are not backing each other up? At least not the way the blue side is backing each other up. And that, for me, that spells serious problems for us, because I feel like the West is going to win if the situation remains as it is right now. They will win this struggle, because after they finish with Iran, Iran is going to go blue. Then they will barricade China in. India is already helping them barricade China in. All the other nations surrounding that China, they will barricade them in, and they will barricade Russia in. And all the other nations that you see there that are blue, pink, all of them will turn blue. All the other ones that look like they are red in Africa, they will turn blue. They will start singing the praises by force. Because if they don't, all they have to tell them is, look at Israel, look at Gaza. You want that? Who is going to come and save you? There are consequences to these type of actions, and for us to be aware of what is happening. And this is why, it's very interesting. A lot of Nigerians are beginning to understand now that, okay, this stuff is not a joke business. This is serious here, and it could come to us any moment. And we think we are suffering right now, but what can happen after that could be far, far worse. If you think this is bad, it could be far, far worse. This is why it's very, very important you take your survival seriously, and we defend your interests seriously. All these Europeans are very, very clever at it. I don't understand how we can watch them doing these things in such a clever way, but we don't learn it from it. For me, that is Ojoro. You are already seeing the expo. Take it and copy what they are doing and try to protect yourself. Because China, India, India and Japan, all of them are developed. Why is it that we are not developed and we are working with them? Why are we not developed? Why is India developing? Why is Japan so advanced? Japan is basically living in the future. South Korea is doing very well. What kind of friendship are we making with the Igbo people that is leaving us this poor, leaving us this defenseless? So personally, I don't take sides. It's not about East or West. It's about, why are we not doing what is good for us? Because if you're not able to, Japan is able to defend itself. You know, Japan is a nuclear threshold nation. Japan can go nuclear any moment if they want to. I think South Korea is the same too. So many of these nations can. Why are we not able to be in that position? And do you know that is what Iran is arguing for? Iran just wants to be able to enrich. They're telling them that you are not allowed to, even if internationally you are supposed to be allowed to do that. So if you look at this map, I think this is why I put the topic there, that what are the consequences for this? And Jide, I'm going to ask you this though directly. Then, what if Russia keeps, as they are saying, that they don't have defense pact with Iran, when everybody just assumes they are very close to Iran because Iran gave them these jets, these Shahed drones, and what if China doesn't come to the rescue of Iran?
Yes, that's a very good
What
question.
do you see as the consequences to the BRICS, AES, and China and Russia? What do you think the consequences would be?
Yes, that's a very good question. First of all, I have two answers. The first answer is this question you asked. A specific journalist actually asked Putin. What you just asked right now, a specific journalist actually asked Putin during the week about this. That doesn't Putin see a security threat if there's a successful regime change in Iran and Iran is toppled and destroyed? Putin gave an answer, and I'll give this answer. This was not like I actually watched this. I can send the sources of why I follow these topics. So what happened was Putin said that actually they do at the moment, Iran as a state, they've not sought any assistance. That they've made efforts, that they have strategic partnership, and that has improved for the past 10, 15 years. However, when it comes to defense pacts, there are still some gray areas. He gave some personal examples that there are nuclear scientists working in Iran at the moment to help to build their nuclear energy. So there's a huge strategic partnership in building infrastructure and all that. But when it comes to security, it's a gray area because Iran have made it clear that they are self-sufficient. They've done everything to try to enhance and bolster their defense 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 relationship and build their anti-missile defense infrastructure. But Iran said they don't need that right now. They don't need support from them. Putin was emotional. It was like, you are currently fighting a war right now. You say you're self-sufficient. Good luck to you. But whenever you are down and all the decks are down, nobody's here to help you. We're here to help you. But,
did he say that? Did he say that?
Yeah, he said I can send you links. But this is not on, like, it's not coming to say official. It was kind of like an interview, like a question, like multiple journalists from different.
What I gathered that he said was that they are not asking for it.
They are not asking for it.
If they ask for it, he's going to provide it.
Yeah, so currently what you have is before what you even said. So this is where my answer now comes in. They've actually been working together before now. The defense minister of Russia, Shoigu, I don't know if you guys know Shoigu, he actually came to Iran to help to bolster this defense pact, to try to like improve the infrastructure, share intelligence sharing, and some other things like that. The same thing with Iran. When the Ukraine war started, Iran supplied Russia with drones. So there is a growing defense relationship. It is not as strong as what you have with NATO. But at this point in time, Russia does not have any choice but to support. So even Putin is under pressure to have to support. China, that is usually when they bomb their ally, they don't do anything. All they come and do is crack crocodile tears in United Nations. Now, they're now sending their ships, their anti-aircraft ships.
Are they?
Yes.
Are they doing that?
Yes. So they've sent one of their ships.
You know, my impression of the Chinese is the so-called ally that they have. Somebody will be pommeling and beating their ally. They will be like, "Do you want to do business? Do you have any business that you want to sign with us?" It's like that is all they seem to care about.
You're like a prostitute. I don't care who you are. I don't. As far as it's my own interest to serve, even if you're the worst of the worst country, I'll do business with you. That's China for you. China, right now, their anti-aircraft ships and all that. I mean, their ships in the Persian Gulf. What they are doing right now is not probably to go to a war, but to share intelligence with Iran. They are sharing intelligence. So currently, they have the base support, which is sharing intelligence with Iran.
Jide, can you provide just so that we are empirically sure what you are saying?
I'll send you the link. Yes, I'll send you the link.
Post the link as you are talking.
Yes, I'm talking right now, bro. I'll send it. Yeah. So it is not. It's at the base level right now, and Russia and China, they are aware of this. That is why the West is going after Iran at the moment, because the main priority of the West is to target China. Their main adversary is China. So they are so they know that the Russia-China-Iran pact is a threat, the West. So now they have to weaken Iran. And now they have Syria. They cannot further go and contain China using West Asia. So my answer to this question is, there is a pact, but it's at the base level. It is not yet strong enough. But at this moment, Russia and China are now pressured to have to bolster the security of Iran as this war is going on. I'll stop there.
Thank you for that.
Send the link of this information you have passed quickly.
Yeah. And Festus, because is it not true that the team that plays like a team is likely to win than the one that plays separately? Is that not a problem when you watch the world where China and Russia seems to be playing like individual players and all their allies, they're playing individually, while the West, say whatever you like about them, they are playing more and more. They were already playing like a team before, but they seem to be even doing it more now, that to the point whereby even when Israel misbehaved, they were like, fine, it's still our baby. It's all good. We are going to support Israel nonetheless. So what do you make of it, Festus?
Can you come again, please?
No, what I was saying was that is it not likely that a team in football that plays like a team is likely to win than a team that plays individually? So if you take that and superimpose it on geopolitics right now, you can see that the West seems to be more united, even when they have their disagreements, but they're united on their power. That should tell you something. Europe maybe they have different opinion. France doesn't like the way what Israel did. They want it to stop and all the rest, but they don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. They are focused on that one common goal. And in other words, they are willing to forgive Israel if Israel succeeds. That's what
announcement. I'm sending the links now. Like I said, I don't just talk because I'm coming here to talk. I have I can send many links as anyone
okay.
people can read. It's because people don't want to read. That's why.
It's okay. Let me put the question to him. So, but if you look at the way China, Russia, especially China is one of the biggest countries in the world. Population, technology, everything. China seems to be playing like as a single player. You know, that great striker that seems to think that he's the striker, the defender, and everything. That's what China seems to be doing. Then Russia, that should be working with the other countries that are part of his team, seems to be playing loose game with them. They don't bring them close enough and empower them enough. I say this because if you look at the African continent, many countries are actually aligned to Russia that are not doing that much better. If you look at Central African Republic, Congo Brazzaville, the Sahel nations, okay, that was a little bit recent. You can't judge them fully for that. From what I even gather, DRC is quite aligned with Russia in China in so many ways in terms of the raw materials that are leaving their country. So, but these countries are devastated now. So, are they not going to lose if you are trying to choose a side right now? Are you not going to likely think that the West is going to win this struggle with China and Russia, based on the way they are all playing their games? That's the question.
So I guess you're right about the French President Emmanuel Macron, who had criticized Israel in their war in Gaza. But this Iran-Israel war that has escalated, you see the European navies in the waters actually acting as a missile defense shield for Israel. So that tells you what side they are on. You also have to understand that they haven't really changed their geopolitical ideology, which is to extract resources. The OPEC countries in the Gulf states, most of their oil actually goes to the east, to China. That's Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait. US is actually top 3 oil producer. They don't really need Middle Eastern oil as much as they do, but the petrodollar system is what they want to hedge their bets on. About 80 to 90% of Iran's oil also goes to China. So America is more or less the last European empire since the 1600s. That was when the Europeans actually came to the forefront as global powers, from the Spaniards, Portuguese, Dutch, English, and whatnot, then to the Americans. They can't foresee a future where they are not at the leading pack, but their big fear also is the fact that what they are doing now, where the UN, they've basically disregarded UN's rulings. The UN is basically useless. Now, what sort of future would they expect themselves to live in if China does the same thing, where there is no UN that actually protects European interests, if China is actually doing this gangsterism that they are doing? So that's one dimension one should look at this. But Europeans are always united in their exploitative nature of extracting resources and doing coups here and there. They're always united. So one would expect, I hope I'm not being spied on, but one should have expected Iran to have actually gone full hard on Israel when Israel was actually fighting against Hamas in Palestine and West Bank, because Iran sat idle by, and that literally gave Israel enough time to lay waste to Gaza.
Now, that is a very good point. You see that playing this game where you leave your team members to just go and suffer. America didn't do that. Even Arab countries helped Israel defend itself against Iran during that period.
Even Jordan, they shoot down Iranians' missiles. So if Iran had actually gone full hard in supporting their proxy, because Israel is US, Western nations proxy, the dead work the Americans are not going to do, Israel is going to do it for them. So if Iran has actually gone hard to support their proxies, that war with Hamas, Hezbollah, Lebanon would have been tougher for Israel. Now, like you said, if the Russians and the Chinese, Russia is pretty much tied to Ukraine war. Ukraine is another proxy for the West to fight their mortal enemies. And their war goes back, if you look at the Crimean War, where Britain, France, and the Ottomans fought against Russia. You look back at the Bolshevik revolutions, where the communists took ownership of Russia. And what the Bolshevik are preaching is anti-imperialism. and they were trying to spread that across Africa. The Europeans, the Americans don't like that. I would also say there's also correlations with how the Dutch Africans in South Africa, with the aid of the US, Britain, and other Western nations, helped them to exploit South African blacks and the resources. I might also say it's similar to 2015 when John Kerry visited Nigeria. 2015, he didn't go to Abuja to see the sitting president. That was Goodluck Jonathan. He went to Sokoto to meet with Sadu Abubakar. That's the Sultan of Sokoto. Yeah, he also met with Buhari. One thing that I'm very, very critical about is that poster that Michelle Obama put, "Bring Back Our Girls." The US didn't like Goodluck Jonathan. Of all the inept leaders we've had, what qualified Goodluck as a good vice president wasn't what made him a good president, in the sense that it was just handpicked. But he was averagely smarter. He had a deal with China where they will actually construct railroads across, high-speed roads across all of Nigeria's major cities, and then currency swap for oil trade. The Americans don't like that. So they threatened Goodluck. If he didn't leave his seat as president, Nigeria would have been destabilized. And us Nigerians looked at the Boko Haram situation as if this guy is a useless terrorist. We should expect that they were the ones that was actually funding those terrorists to destabilize Goodluck's. Not like I'm a PR manager for Goodluck. He has his own weaknesses too, as far as like his mismanagement. But that Bring Back Our Girls ploy, that hashtag that Michelle Obama posted, that everyone started posting and then protest here about, it wasn't just to speak about his ineptitude with dealing with the terrorists. It was to make us Africans, with their media, to let us think this guy is the worst thing that has ever happened to us. But guess who came? The person they supported. Barack Obama's campaign manager was a consultant for Buhari in that election. And now we have their guy, my uncle, Tinubu.
Yeah, but there is some aspect to that. I looked at the dynamics during that period. You are right. They probably would have found it easy to destabilize the country, because I think Goodluck made a mistake of running the third time. He shouldn't. That's the second time, but he was already in office for 6 years. That mistake was the fact that a northerner was supposed to be in office when he took over.
I disagree to that. He came in as a VP when the president died.
Yes, legally he's allowed to, but you have to understand that president.
Is there anything written in any piece of paper in any Nigerian?
You see that kind of talk. You see that kind of talk is what leads to war. You can't pretend as if you don't know.
What this guy is saying is interesting.
It is your thought process that gives the northerner that.
It is a factual situation, because I was in Nigeria when they started this democratic dispensation. The idea was that there was going to be a form of rotational system in place where a southern will rule, a northern will rule. But when the northern guy came in, then he passed on within 2 years, and Goodluck started ruling. Then they gave him the benefit of it that he won the next election. Then he wants to run again. That would have given him, he would have been in office for 10 years, and the northerner would not have been in office. So you can see the frustration in the country. Whether it's fair or not, it doesn't matter.
Can I help you? I agree with you.
Please hold on. How can we say we live in one country if someone feels like it is their right, because rotational system, when he hasn't actually done his second term? They didn't even want to give him the presidency after the old man died.
He's already done 2 terms.
And I think
don't say 2 terms.
Because as a vice president, he would have been in office for 8 years. See, you have
all of
this
matter. Forefathers.
He didn't do anything.
Your thought process disagreeing with mine is like an alibi for the northerners to use that.
No, I think if that was in the south too, you're going to have a problem with it, because on paper,
probably not.
Think about it on paper. Think about it on
what
paper.
What about Abiola? What about Shonekun that were deposed?
Hold on. Yeah, that I agree. See, you think about it on paper that during the new democratic dispensation, Obasanjo has ruled for 8 years. Another came for 2 years. Then another southerner ruled for 10 years. That would have given this in southerners 18 straight years, or almost 18 straight years of rule in Nigeria. That doesn't seem balanced to me in a country that is supposed to be rotating this thing. You see what I mean? So you can't necessarily the environment was
as us
primed.
not having an Igbo president for so long?
We have not had an Hausa president too, so it's
Well,
not you don't have to have one side. The point is that it's north and south. So if you are supposed to come to the south, you want to have southerners rule for straight 18 years, almost straight 18 years. You can see how the whole thing can become unbalanced and unsteady. That's what I think. I think Goodluck should have known that equation and said, you know what, I've pushed it too far already. Let me now hand over to some other person to run for the presidency for the next
I
time.
need to emphasize on what Pastor said. What you said is very important. So one thing we need to understand about the system in Nigeria is that our political structure is very weak. And it's a liberal democratic system, quote unquote, a liberal democratic. You have NGOs, non-governmental organizations. A lot of those NGOs, they've hijacked our political structure. Those NGOs, they are funded by NED, and they played a role in the ousting of Goodluck Jonathan. Not that Goodluck Jonathan was an anti-imperialist. He was not an anti-imperialist. He was a bigot. But he had some disagreements with the White House. So they have to take him out. And those NGOs are still in Nigeria. They still play a key role in the destabilization of Nigeria and putting in their puppets. Either it's Peter Obi, Tinubu, Atiku. They are the same sort of criminals that they will organize to put in. But I will stop there for now. Thank you.
Including you, Jide.
Let me quickly round up. So
I just thought I should add to that point, but I think it's a valuable point to add because when you said that they would have destabilized Nigeria, that is something that we need to learn from. We too don't want to help them, that is what I was trying to highlight, that Jonathan helped them get to that point. He should have not gone and run. He allowed the northerners to actually believe that, okay, yes, this guy is doing something crazy. They were forming parallel governments during that time. That was the first time I've heard that somebody would say they want to form a parallel government in the country. You can't arrest them. The country was becoming destabilized. And it was northerners that were championing it.
Let me quickly conclude, so I'll let others talk.
Yeah, please go ahead.
When we look across Africa today, I mean, in the Eco-Atlantic, the US is building the world's largest embassy in Nigeria. So what is that telling you? Trump is trying to actually stop visa, giving Nigerians visa, but they are still building the world's largest spy network instead of we us calling it embassy. There is military bases across Africa. They've always wanted our resources, and that's not going to stop. They have monopoly over technology. When we look at how far we are behind, we've missed out in the agrarian revolution, industrial revolution, technological revolution. Now we are behind in the AI renewables. We are just a waste of space. The climate factor we have to consider. Others want to take up our space. When we also look at countries like Cuba, North Korea, and Iran that's been sanctioned to the bones, North Korea can make nuclear bomb. They can make rockets. What can we are incapable of building bridges. Not to talk of imagine them having our population.
We can make kilishi. Haven't you discovered what the
we can make kilishi.
We can make toothpick now. Toothpick.
Okay, to round up, I think it's common knowledge that our leaders are very lazy, incapable, or they are just strategically weak. And we just need to read the room to see what's going on globally and ask where our lot is in the next future. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I would have liked to ask you one more question, but it's
go
okay.
On,
other people want to speak. So if you hang around, I'll have questions to ask. Who is next? Because this thing has
I am next. I have not said anything.
You have not? Okay, no. I thought you have. Okay.
No.
Jide, welcome. This in the foremost geopolitical.
No, now Jide has spoken now.
I haven't spoken.
No way!
Don't do that.
Jide spoke after Jagun.
Jide, why you want to do Ojoro now?
This kind of no way, don't be corrupt here.
Jide wants to do Ojoro now. What is this now, Jide?
You cast aspersions. They want to swallow. They are trying to. Which kind of this is what we are talking about.
So it's okay, just take me.
This guy has cast aspersions on other people, but now he is the architect of the whole wuru.
Text that.
It's my turn anyway. So it's my turn.
Is it okay? Is it Otis' turn?
Let
Yes,
Oti
yes.
speak. Oti was supposed to
I'm
speak
not.
in
I'm
the
not. I'm not. I'm
other.
not going to take your. I won't take your time. I don't talk too much. So, for us, I've been asking questions. I don't know. Do you have any question for me?
Yes, I have question.
Okay,
This
go
is
ahead.
for you. So, because you said something that I found interesting. You said you have come to a conclusion on something in the other session, and
Yes.
I would like you to elaborate on that, and also touch on what is going on and maybe how it is connected to what is happening in the world now. Please go ahead.
Well, really, for me, because sometimes I like to see things in a big, the big picture. It's not. I mean, for example, and that's where we can understand how it does affect us. It's not Israel and Iran fighting. That is bad enough. Now, but what it means for the world, of which we are a part, that is even more worrisome for me. Now, because they've demonstrated that really they don't. I mean, I said in the last segment that these people, they have no fear of God. They don't, and there's no truth in them. And they believe in force. They will take your thing by force. What they have not changed. Okay, so these people, for the very moment they kind of had contact with Africans, black people, they have remained the same people. Okay, and therefore, they're not going to change in the future. So in our present, they're still doing the same thing that maybe 200 years ago, 500 years ago, the phobias did. So it's carrying on and into the future. And so what do? Okay, we find ourselves in kind of a modern nation states. So that's what we have to use to organize for our own defense and protection. So for others, yes, I think it brings the if like the geopolitics into the foreground. Okay, so our politicians really have to take this more seriously and take their responsibilities seriously. But the way our nations, our countries are set up, and that's where I differ, from you. I don't think it's workable. That's the reality I've come to. And if you listen to Nigerian, okay, let's say commentators, okay, political commentators, social commentators, most people are not knowledgeable in these matters, constitutional lawyers or policy makers. People have come to the conclusion, and I share that view that Nigeria is not workable. We can just, it's not having this big size population. It can't, it has not worked, and it's not gonna take us anywhere. So really, a kind of redrawing the board, going back to the, to redraw the, how do you say it? Redraw go back to drawing board. Go back to drawing board. So, and then we can begin to really see how we are going to preserve our lives. Okay, now because we don't have control. So as a nation, if you cannot defend your independence, so then the people of that country, the nationals or the citizens.
OT, my brother, can I ask you?
Go ahead.
Given the point of view that you have,
mm-hmm.
that it is better to break the country up, especially given the geopolitics that's going on around the world, right? What then would it be that Nigeria breaks up? And what would any single nation look like?
Right. Okay. Hold on. I'm not saying breaking up. Okay. I'm talking about if like reconstituting, restructuring. Okay. Reorganizing the country in a way that it becomes effective, functional, workable. Okay. It doesn't mean break up. But if it leads to that, but the main thing is that really that's common. We have to be in a situation that the people, the Nigerians, whatever the setup is, whatever the structure or reorganization, have able to have a common sense of destiny, right? And so it doesn't mean lack of cooperation or lack of even unity, but to be able to forge that nationhood, nationality, a common destiny, a common identity. There has to be a kind of, there's no, as we are, there's no cohesiveness. Okay, so
let me just highlight something to you.
It cannot be a simple magic of legislation.
Can I just highlight something to you regarding this? Like, from what I remember in my family, and you would like to say know of, my family, we have a tentacle to almost every region, apart from the north that I know of. In the south, and I'm sure, almost 100% sure, almost everyone here, the same thing. They have family members that are linked to everybody in the southern part of Nigeria.
Okay.
So, in terms of whether we are connected or not, we are saying we need to be bigger even. Because
let me address a question. I know what you're asking me. No, but you see, the thing is what you miss is this. You don't understand. Look, interpersonal relationships. Okay, that is not what we're talking about, right? So that the fact that maybe I'm married to a Yoruba person, Yoruba man is married to a Hausa man, that is not what we're talking about. That's not politics. That's not national politics. Okay, you can have this personal at the personal level can exist, but politics, national politics, that's how you organize things. Okay, that is something distinct. Okay, then because really people have to have a shared sense of community. A nation is, after all, a community. I would mean. So if that sense of community is not there, that people are ready to make sacrifice for one for the other, you're not gonna have a successful nation.
Okay, you see, that is a very interesting point you made just now. I think it's very interesting. If the people don't have a sense of
community, they have something that there's some rootedness, something, a worldview. There's something they share, something really.
Let me add this. When it comes to Nollywood and Afrobeats, we tend to do that. But when it comes to politics, is when that falls apart, and we all see the results in Nigeria. But the question is that is that not the area we should be looking to fix in terms of the political this thing? Whatever is breaking the political structure is what we need to fix. And personally, part of it for me is tied to security too, because as you can see, one of the first things that they decapitated in Iran was their top officials. How do you think they did that? Some people betrayed the nation. If you didn't do that, those guys would still be alive today, and Iran will be slightly more effective. So you can see that when you have a nation that doesn't take too seriously their security, there's a reason why Iran doesn't have the same on Israel. Israel is far more alert to such threats than Iran is. So there are consequences to these things, and I hear what you are saying, and I agree with you that Nigerians don't have a sense of community, especially when it comes to politics.
Look at religion too. Look at it practically. You see, a country, we say we are fighting insurgency for how many years now? A country cannot deal with that. Look at your president, the way he's carrying himself, the way where his priorities lie. I mean, it shows you that these people don't know what they're doing. They are not serious. So these people are the ones gonna defend you.
Okay, let me ask you one other question. Somebody said something recently. They said, we are all thinking that these our leaders are crazy. They are stupid. Maybe they are playing a game that we don't know. Maybe they are doing something from behind the scenes that we don't know about.
No.
Is it possible? Because I totally dismissed it, but is it possible that there's something they are doing?
Unless we're not taking this matter seriously, unless we think we have for kind of is a joke or something.
Why? Is it not, for all you know, our leaders are behind the scenes working very hard, trying to build our security up, because they know if they do it openly, they are not going to let them.
Now, see, the other day, our president could not, because of bad road, could not drive to a state, right? And then meanwhile they're building they call it coastal road. I mean, this is the realities. Okay, this is the practical, and there's no point. And then you talk about building nuclear, whatever, going nuclear. Come on, let's be real. All right, that's what I'm saying. So we have to start the basics. We have to start get the elementary things right. Otherwise, we're just wasting our time. And I'm afraid.
But what you are saying, though, what you are saying is part of the problem, isn't it? Overall, if we submit everything, because what we keep saying, we have to talk first before you fix an existential crisis. You need to be alive to be able to talk.
No. Sorry, no. You get it wrong. It's not just talking. And then you talk. Sorry, excuse me. What do you mean talking? How long does talking take? You know what you want. You know what works. This is not reinventing the wheel. It's common sense. Right with me. There's not building a skyscraper in the sky or building a castle in the air. These things are real. They're practical. Okay, they are demonstrated. They are demonstrable.
I hear what you are saying, but it's almost as if you are saying there is a better arrangement that we are going to come up with before we actually worry about
Yes, there is actually.
My concern is that you think you have the luxury for that. Why can't you just use what you have now to do that?
What do we have?
Think you have the luxury for that?
We don't have
nothing. People that have far less.
We don't have nothing. We can't even organize a simple election. You're talking about what do we have?
No,
we can't even select your leaders. What do you have then?
Sorry, what I'm arguing, my argument is that could you be mistaken? Because when they show up here now tomorrow, like the Iranians were not expecting the attacks. When they show up here now tomorrow, do you think you would have made a mistake of saying, we should be talking instead of worrying about doing something? Because we are never going to get a perfect arrangement, no matter what conversations you have.
Talking about talking for how long? What are we talking about? The solution is there. What we need to do, to move on is there. People know it, but I'm telling you, the people that are in power, because they managed to get themselves into.
Okay, now let me ask you the final question.
Okay.
Let's say we finish talking. We've gotten a perfect system. Not perfect, but a little bit close to perfect. Then we are hosting the show in the future where we finish talking. Then we have an OT, number 2.
Which show? Which show?
This show.
Okay.
There's an OT number 2 shows up and says, we have to talk. This talk we've just had is not good enough. We have to talk. Should we listen to that OT?
So, I mean, it's I think you're not serious, really. I mean,
what I'm trying to highlight is that it's your point of view. That's why you are demanding that stuff instead of acting. It's your point of view.
No, it's not my point of view. So talking is not acting. I'm talking about implementing something that a solution people have devised that can work. Okay, and I've given you practical examples. And then you ignore that.
I agree with you. But that doesn't prevent you. That doesn't prevent us from doing what we need to do.
What is it? What is it?
To secure your country, to make sure that your leaders, you recruit people into your security forces. You develop technology.
So those that are in the army, how well are they catered for? I mean, those that are there now, they can't even look after them. That's what I'm talking about. So look,
but that is going to be the argument of the other OT again. The other OT is going to say one thing is not good, the other one is not good.
This is not hyper. Listen, we have a situation at hand. We need to deal with it. Okay, we know the problems. We have to grapple with them, and then you just speculating and then hypothesize. I don't see. Look, you say our security solution is recruit, and I'm telling you, the soldiers. Okay. Some of them are, kind of deserting there because they are treated badly. They can't. So and then you're talking recruiting from where? Where is the money? You don't have money. I mean, simple insurgency. They cannot deal with it. So what are you talking about?
See, if small Algeria can spend $25 billion on their security, Nigeria with 200 and something million people should be able to do that.
We should spend how much?
Right now we are spending $4 billion. Do you know 3 North African countries are spending over 40 billion?
So we spend more money to do
all of them together. Our population is higher than theirs to secure their countries.
So it's money. Is it problem of money, right?
No, it's not only a problem of money. That's true, but money matters and the numbers matter. They have more numbers than us. They have more money than us in their security. And go and look at, and they were still able to have free education in Algeria. That's to university level. They pay $1 to go to university, and they give them money on top of it. When I saw it on there with the Maya, I was like, How
And why
are
can't
they able to
why can't
afford
we
it?
do it? Why are we not doing it?
That's because OT is saying we have to talk first.
Oh, come on. So the
we have to talk first. That is why OT
I
says
think you guys.
first.
I think we should move
Thank
away
you.
from this.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm done. I'm done. Thank you. Thank you.
I enjoy talking to OT. It's very fascinating to talk to. Welcome, Paul. Thank you for joining us. You know this issue where a country that doesn't sign up to non-proliferation treaty, that has nuclear weapon in secret, no UN inspectors go to that country to go and inspect it. Nothing. That country goes on to attack another country that is exercising its rights under the non-proliferation treaty. The UN inspectors go inside to investigate it, and all the rest is going on. And yet everybody's painting that country as the devil. But the other one that doesn't follow the rules of anything, that one is the one that is fighting for his life somehow. That one is justified to go and just start killing people. And that one, while is doing it, is really killing almost 100 people every day that are basically defenseless. Women, children, and men are just being killed every day when they are going to collect food till now. That should tell you something, isn't it? What do you make of this world we are living in?
Yeah, they lure them to go collect food and kill them there. You understand? They lure them there to go collect food and kill them there. You understand? Then I was in this program some hours past when Desta talks on this. Can you go there? Can you go visit there? Can you go there? It kind of make me laugh and everything. See, if there's anything we'll blame Iran, we can blame everything. Like I said in the beginning, the problem Iran is having with Saudi Arabia, clearly, we don't need anybody to tell us. It's religion. The Shiite and the Sunni. You understand? It's religion. Then even though if we want to talk about nuclear, Fofara, pull back the map and look the map very well. If Iran knows that Israel have nuclear, and the same Iran understand that Pakistan is a great ally to the US, and Pakistan also have nuclear. You understand? Go the other side. India have nuclear. These are countries close to them. You understand? What do you want to talk? They are also close to China in another way around. China also have nuclear. Why don't you think they want to have nuclear? So not only for the purpose of Israel. And when North Korea also have their nuke and everything, they are not suffering what they suffered many years ago. You understand? They just talk, and leave them alone. You get my point. So that may be another thing, because the country will have nuke, to some extent, they still leave them alone. Then when the so-called Israel is talking all these things that they are talking, they destroy over 53 hospitals, 51 hospitals in their mass area and everything. What are the excuses? The excuses that, they put Hamas, they put military under there, they do all this funny thing. Come on, it take America 10 years to use intelligence right off Pakistan debt to take down Osama bin Laden. Why don't you use intelligence? Is it not the intelligence you use to take all those Iran generals down? You understand? The nuclear physicists and the likes. Is it not intelligence? You understand? It is the dream of Benjamin Netanyahu before he died, like his brother died, his late elder brother. You understand? To take down Iran, because he sees himself like David that want to take Goliath down. But I see him as the Goliath. You understand? He is the problem. You already have one channel, one face. You are going on war. You open another channel. Before you even start the thing, now you started crying to the US to come help you. Then when people talk, they'll say, Iran is the problem. They fund Hezbollah, they fund this, they fund that. So if you use that English, proceed. The other side that is also fighting for the Iran, the UK, the global West and everything. So what will you call them? What type of English do you want to call them? So these are the problems. So Benjamin Netanyahu, in as much as I want to believe anything, take Benjamin Netanyahu down. Then if you want to take Iran down, don't help him live his stupid dream. This man is worse than Hitler. You understand? Take him down. And everything. Look, let me tell you, one professor in MIT said something. He said he wished all the whole world, everybody will have nuke. I'm telling you, the world will be a better place. You understand? The world will be a better place. This threat, this war, hawk and everything, it will reduce to some extent. You know, so when you look that place very well, people will complain. I understand. But we've seen it in so many countries. You cannot say Egypt is an Islamic country. You understand? You cannot say Turkey is an Islamic country. But we understand the way they push Turkey. Today, we say Turkey is an Islamic country. We also understand what the Ayatollah did with Iran. Yes. But at the same time, playing politics another way around again and said, oh, they've changed the country. Oh, they've done this, they've done that. These people work with the America before the America topple their own government. You understand? Before this guy come from exile from France, you know. So when you look, whenever these people put their hand in everything, they scatter it. You know, I don't know what is wrong with this so-called religious war and this so-called put together plus Arab plus white people. I don't know why they love to fight. You understand? If it's for we the black people, we just want to enjoy our best life.
Can I just ask? Because it's like, in one way, I can see where Benjamin Netanyahu is coming from in terms of, okay, he fears for the survival of his people. You know, we have to try to see from his own point of view that, okay, but I literally believe that where their true sin lies, and I think that sin would have been, you know, or that mistake would have been solved
if of course, open constitution since 75 years. These are the people who will tell them their death certificate and their birth certificate. You understand? You can't do nothing. Open constitution. Then anybody that talk, they said, oh, like I said some hours back, the highest punishment you can give to any child, anybody, is to pick that child and ask the child not to cry. You understand? I can't tell myself it's time to cry. You understand? He either come emotional or he come with pain. You understand? Then you saw any child that is born today in Palestine, in this place, you understand, is potential terrorist. But the child cannot see his grandparents. The child cannot see his siblings. The child sees everything that is going on. How do you think the child will grow? How do you think the child will be wired? You understand? My son can't eat pepper. You understand? You give him pepper, he shout, oh, my mouth is on fire. Do you know why? Because he eat 2 square meals in school every other day that have no pepperish food in his food. You understand? So for the most part, that's how it is, because it is the environment that child find himself. So these are the things, you know. So when you look, you didn't join the member. You want to ask for this thing. You are talking that, oh, Iran blow up your hospitals and ever that is taking us civilian when you have taken 53,000 human beings, over 1,400 and something. Let us tell ourselves the truth. This is the height of barbaric. You understand? Then we fight back. It's natural. But where did these so-called people find a way to forgive Germans?
Yeah, but
how did they forgive Germans that they will never forgive?
Something going on here that we don't fully.
White supremacy. That's what it is.
There is a big hole here we are not fully seeing, and I'm beginning to worry a little bit even recently that, you know, there's no evidence for this, that Saudi Arabians are the core of most of the problems in that region. The reason why I say that, Saudi Arabia as a regime, I mean, the reason why I say that is because when they don't like you as a regime, you tend to fall. Like, an example of this is Egypt. When, you know, Egypt had a democratic Arab Spring and they had a democratic government.
Yeah, Mubarak.
And very quickly, that government fell. And people said that it was the Saudi house that sponsored the coup to remove that president.
It's America. Saudi, they partake in
no,
it. That's
I don't understand. Yes, but so if you look Saudi Arabia.
Let me finish the point. So I'll flesh it out so you understand what I'm saying. Saudi Arabia doesn't like Libya. Libya fell.
Correct.
Saudi Arabia doesn't like Iraq. Iraq fell. Saudi Arabia doesn't like Iran. Iran is facing a serious problem right now. Just as much as this is Israel doesn't like many of these countries, but Israel doesn't care too much about Morsi in Egypt. Neither do they care too much about Gaddafi. But yet, all these nations are consistently against this thing. Saudi Arabia is against them. And now a third one is, that's the final one, is what is going on in Gaza right now and the Palestinian territory. You don't see the Saudi Arabians are acting. All they do is talk. If anything, they are making a lot of effort to defend Israel to carry on doing what it is doing? All because they hate
No,
Iran,
they talk it
allies so
tough.
much.
But what do you want it?
No. They play politics. Sorry, why? Saudi Arabia is playing this politics. Saudi Arabia is playing this politics that still today they never recognize Israel as a nation state. You understand? So that is what they're doing. But another way around,
the 9/11 attackers come from Saudi Arabia too. Then instead of them to say, okay, there are things you can organize the Arab world to say, you know what, we are not going to be doing this with you. There are certain sanctions you can put against the West to say you are going to lose money too if you carry on like this, just killing people for needlessly. But you don't see them doing that. They are watching their own people getting slaughtered every day. They don't do anything.
I think it's working now slowly, but we hope it works. And if it works, it will be the greater good for everybody. You make mention of Egypt. Remember that Israel get the highest grant from the United States, followed by Egypt. You understand? So Egypt is also an ally of the US, get their F-16, 15, 35, and the likes. You understand? So Egypt, they've secured that peace. You understand? That's why Egypt and Israel don't have that issue any longer. But another way around, you see this small low-hanging fruit, this small politics where they will bully the people. They'll say, oh, Jordan, don't take people from Palestine. Egypt, don't take your neighbors, don't take your neighbor. The question we ask, these people are in open concentration camp. Who put them there? Why don't you release them? Why don't you let them be? You understand? Now, when you push them far, you develop the land. When you push me 10 miles and you develop another 10 miles, which means you're still closer than me, then you say I'm threat to you, then you push again. So when you look at everything that they are doing right now, it's all about land grabbing. You understand? Then shame other people that, oh, why come Jordan won't take them? How come Yemen? How come this Hezbollah that is fighting for you won't take them? That tells you that it's land grabbing, it's genocide. You understand? And every other thing. So, but my concern is that every country that have peace with the global West, they are enjoying enormous wealth. Qatar has the biggest the US military base in that area, 40,000. You understand? US, do you know how much the US made from Saudi Arabia? They literally protect them. So even though if you say Saudi don't have nuke, Saudi is well protected. You understand? And every other thing, they fund our government. You know, but what I said is changing now to some extent. They started understanding what APAC is doing, the lobby that they lobby US congressmen, the senators, and every other thing. That is what they want to introduce now, the Saudi, the Emiratis. This is what they want to introduce, that we can do everything possible. Maybe we can lobby this government. Maybe we can use that to find peace. Because they can't take a stand. If they take stand, all of them will suffer. So they are scared of taking a stand. Look, every country that is peaceful there, you understand, America have a base in Bahrain, they have a base in Jordan, they have a base in Qatar, they have a base in Saudi Arabia, and they're all in peace. You understand? So are you telling those people to go take a stand? The day they take a stand, this is where their suffering will come. Do you get my point now? So in another way around, maybe they can negotiate and whittle these things down. You understand? Because at the end of the day, there is still religious angle to these things. You understand? Even as big as the US will do anything, the US still recognize what we call church and state very well. But even though the Israel don't even recognize it, and that part is also playing. You understand? So they get scared. They see themselves like Buhari will say a dot and every other thing. So they see themselves like that. But somebody can bring confidence and bring that peace. You understand? And if there's anybody that can do it, it's still the US. Because if you talk about the EU, the Ukraine war has shown that the EU has gone. They've lost it completely. They don't have anything. When you talk about China, you already said it yourself. They are just there just to do business. They are not there for any other thing. When you talk about Russia, you don't even know where Russia stands. You understand? So it's just hard. But I can tell you, just imagine if Russia can come outside, stand tall. China can come outside, stand tall for Iran, for example. My brother, you will see peace. But you won't see them do that thing.
That's exactly my point.
You won't see them do that thing. So you just exacerbate, you escalate the whole thing. You understand? Because if ordinary North Korea, and look, everybody that is this global West enemy, they put a stronger base around them. When you look North Korea, look South Korea. Look the military base. Look Japan. You understand? That's a threat to China. You understand? But China will never said this is a threat to me. But you will say China is a threat to them. You understand? So anybody that they presume to see like is an enemy, you understand? You put a strong base, not one channel. You start going around like a 360 thing. That is, you can come from here, you can
So
come from here, you can come from the other side.
you are saying that these Arab nations hate Iran more than they hate Israel.
They don't hate them. Father, it's just like some of us here in the US. They're scared of, they are watching this program. Their truth is in their belly. They can't say it out. You understand? So when you look these people, they don't really hate these people. Do you think these Palestine people, these Hamas, do you think these people are happy where you give them food every day? They want to fend for themselves. They want to live life. They want to own a passport. They want to travel around the world. They don't want to go there because of they sneak themselves to Egypt and run out of the country. That's when they can breathe. You understand? These other Arab countries, so the Saudis, they feel for them. They have conscience. They are human, but they understand the consequence. You understand? So they won't do it because they know I will be the next victim of circumstance. So they won't do it. But another way around that I see them now want to do is to also do what the Jewish people is doing. They lobby all these congressmen. The only time you see American congressmen, you see the Senate, they come together. It's about Israel. You understand? Because they lobby Democrat and they lobby Republican. So that like the $400 million plane and everything. So these are the things where they can use through that channel. But if you use threat, they've make relationship to some extent with China. They've make relationship to some extent with places like Russia. But it's a big problem. You understand? Because China is not ready to do this world power thing again. Russia is not ready. So Russia just felt the day you hit me hard will end the world. But Russia is not ready to go threaten anybody. It's not their style any longer. You understand? But they are well off.
Isn't that a mistake? Is it not a mistake? Because at everything you are saying, at the core of it is a mistake.
That is true. That is true. Is that not why the NATO keep going round and round around them? They keep coming closer and closer and closer and closer. That is true.
Well, fathers,
you
let us
understand?
talk now.
Yeah. I know. You know, I don't like you anymore. You know, all this.
So I just believe that the US can do better, and US can end this war, and it will be the better for everybody. I just think that if Donald Trump want to do something that I will love him, I will really enjoy this thing very well. First of all, take Netanyahu down. You will see to some extent that Israel will come down a little. If two prime minister is going against what Israel is doing, an Israeli prime minister, two prime minister, not like they are contesting because they want to come back to power. They can go against the way Israel, because remember, see this Israel that we all love very well. It is the power of the media, the era where you and I only watch mainstream media. When we watch the CNN of this world, the BBC of this world, the VOA of this world, it is changing. You understand? So where did Israel go wrong? Where people can stand up and blame them? Even some EU countries, Norway, France, everybody. It just, to some extent, is still scared of the US. That's why they can't really say their mind completely. You understand? But they are not in support of what Israel is doing. So we can still play that card with the US and find another way to make them understand that they can still be in peace. I don't think, look, when Pakistan have their nuke, why didn't they nuke India? Why didn't India nuke them? They are enemy for ages. Why didn't they nuke them? You understand? Why would somebody threaten? Don't you understand the level of nuke? Even though America that nuke, you understand, in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they regret it today, because if anybody want to ask a question, they'll say the only country that have nuke in this war is the US. You understand? They use it to shame them.
I'm not sure the right people, some of them are regretting it. They are saying that is the pillar.
Paul, what time are you going to stop?
Let somebody else go. Let somebody else go. Thank you.
Let's bring some of the best minds in now so that they can this come and contribute. I saw that Dexter is always surprises me. You always surprise me. I don't understand you, Dexter. So what do you make of this issue with Iran, Israel, then I think we need to bring Israel this in Gaza back into it, because technically Israel is the government of the Palestinian territories, and they are basically having one democratic system on one side, and the other side is a military system that they have for them. And I don't buy this excuse that the Arab world, they are they are scared of the West, because they go above. They literally helped Israel defend itself against Iran. These people hate Iran more than they love their Palestinian people. And so, what do you make of this entire thing? You can come at it from your own point of view.
Thank you, forefathers, and everybody that has spoken. What I will say is this: I find it quite interesting. A bunch of African grown men scattered around the world are rather bothered about what happens in the Middle East, while our country is decimated. And we have our forefathers here who preaches for a bigger and stronger Nigeria. AY saying the same thing. We don't have the courage to address what makes nations great. We want to eat the honey, but we don't want to go out and take the nectar from the flower that will make the honey. That's the way I really say it. Regarding the Israel, look, it's a shame. It's a big shame that you have countries that Nigeria was ahead of 40 years ago. Now, these countries are almost 50 years ahead of us. And we still don't realize it. And we think it's all about military might. Now, if you look at what was the most important thing when Israel was trying to attack the Iranian sites? What did they say? Oh, we've killed the scientists. That's the intellectual capacity. Intellectual capacity drives nations forward. If the Iranians don't have the intellectual capacity, they won't be able to develop their nuclear. They won't be able to take the development of the nuclear technology they had from where it was left. So I just it pains me when we Nigerians, because the truth about it is that Nigeria is the largest black nation of the world, and until a black nation in Africa can come up with value addition to itself, nobody will respect the black race. There's no black nation that sits in the UN Security Council. There's nothing. But we are the largest black nation in the whole world. But we don't seem to, there is injustice in our country. We don't seem to care about it. We want to push for a bigger Nigeria or bigger army. Are you listening to the videos? Are you aware that many Nigerian soldiers are actually taking voluntary resignation? Are you aware of that? That it is on the highest scale right now in the army. Many are literally writing, I want to leave. And their officers are saying no, rejecting it. I know a soldier that left, wrote, they didn't agree, and he abandoned. I know somebody in the DSS has jumped ship, left. Now people are leaving because there's nothing that unites you. A country that does not promote justice and fairness can never, no matter how you do it. That is why we're having the so-called Boko Haram. You keep on having all these skirmishes. Forefathers, you keep on talking about Western influence. How would Western influence work when you can? Okay, look at Ibrahim Traore. They wanted to assassinate him. They gave somebody $5 million. The person carried the money and gave Ibrahim Traore. Patriotism. That's it. That man is building a nation. Everybody lined up behind him because they know that this guy is not going to say, if something happens, if there's an attack in one village, you will not be thinking, those people, we can allow them, they're expendable. Look, until justice is done in any country don't. And look, the Western nations, it's not like they like Jide will say, oh, they send their proxies and all that. No, until your country justice system is set properly, the Western nations, the Western nations and Eastern nations will look and say, we cannot mess with these guys. Oh. These guys they are straight like a stick. We cannot mess with them. So we cannot go in and try and dissuade them. Because Nigeria, we don't have that. But yes, we want to eat the honey. We are looking at, let us go and get it. No, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I thought you were going to say that we want to get the honey, but we don't want to get stung.
No, it's not getting stung. You need to make the honey first. You need to make it, forefathers. The bees to get the honey. Let me tell you how the bees make the honey. They go out, they fly out, they get to the flowers, they suck the nectar, and they fly back.
Mm-hmm.
And they go and feed the queen, and they make honey.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the nectar they make the honey. So
True.
we don't want to. First of all, we don't want to. First of all, we don't even want to fly out. We don't want, because flying out is hard work. You promote hard work. The bee don't say, oh, you that have made the honey, stay away. No, they promote hard work. Nigeria, what do we want?
Is it me or is it frozen? Dexter, you may need to
it's frozen. Dexter is trying to confuse people. That's why it's frozen.
Yeah, this one where that is saying that we want to go and get honey and not getting stung.
No, that's Dexter.
I think his argument is similar to that of OT. We have to get a situation before we do anything.
Best of the safe feather. they are just deciduous.
OT is growing up, you have to say, but he does have his own views. There was a time I used to be cross with OT all the time. Dexter, we can't hear you. I think we have to go to Tony. Tony has been patient, very quiet. They didn't interject with anybody, so nobody better there to interject in his submissions.
Tony, can I ask you?
Look at that! He's already started. Pastor, don't start now. Pastor, don't start.
Hold on now,
Pastor, don't start.
Can I ask Tony a question?
No,
I will ask him a question. Then he will.
I told you no, Pastor. Come on, wait.
Let me ask the question.
Wait, this guy, he just gave me
one. Let me just post.
Can you let me go with? Can you let me go with Tony, please? See, please, let me just deal with Tony.
Look for. Somebody
before every other person
exactly. The other people are here. Let's respect each other's time here, because I'm sorry, I didn't see you for a while, so I think it was Dexter that jumped. So yes, it came to my attention that Israel, one of the ways they got their nukes going was that they knew how to make nukes, but they didn't have uranium, and they didn't have the space to test them. They are not allowed to test it in the Middle East, at least based on what Americans told them. Then, you know what they did? They went to a country that has the cake, that has the uranium, materials, and they went to a country that has the space to test it. And that country needed somebody that knew how to make nukes, and but they have the space and the cake. So they shared it, and they were able to create nuclear weapons for each other. And that country is South Africa. When I heard that story, I was like, okay, what is wrong with we have 50-something countries, almost 50 countries in Black Africa, and none of them have that kind of arrangement come their way. How is it that Israel is the one that is able to pull that one off? And and Israel is not even signed on to all the international bodies regarding any of this stuff. But somehow the narrative is, let's punish the one that has signed on, that has passed a law in their country not to go nuclear, and pretend as if that one is about to destroy the world. Why the one that is attacking that one is the one that the whole world seems to be on their side. Let's face it, almost the whole world seems to be on their side, in terms of even Russia is saying that they have to try to make sure Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons and all the rest. You notice that they use the term nuclear weapon and enrichment interchangeably, because they know if they say nuclear weapon, technically that's accurate, but enrichment is not accurate. You are supposed to be allowed to enrich. Nigeria has the right to enrich. by international law. And you don't see Nigerians asserting their right. They do have some micro reactors in Nigeria, but you don't see Nigeria asserting their right to do that in a big way. So what do you make of this international order that seems to be just disorder now and hypocrisy, where one side, they pretend as if there's a rule, when really there's no rule, it's about power, really. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Great submission there. Great, submission, I would say. Greetings, everybody. I've been listening. My network is comes on and off, so I've been battling with it. But let's go straight. Forefathers, you made a great point when you said that Israel is not a signatory to the nuclear non-proliferation treaty. America is also not. Israel would not allow the IAEA come and inspect its nuclear facilities. But on the contrary, Iran is a signatory to that treaty. Iran has opened its doors for investigation of how far it has gone with this nuclear project. So you see a conspiracy there. I just want to summarize everything that we've been talking and so on and so forth. There's one word for what we've been talking about, no matter the side you're taking, and it's the word hegemony. We used to use that word, it's hegemony. What is at stake here is not Israel. It's not the nuclear bomb. It's hegemony. America wanting to bring the world to a unipolar system where it can assert its power and authority unopposed. And in doing that, what it does is that over the years, it has been using proxies. It has proxies in almost every part of the world. Now, but let us bring this down to the Middle East. Okay, Israel is a proxy. Israel is not a problem. It's not the problem. It's just a proxy for America. Saudi Arabia is a proxy for America. Iraq used to be proxy for America until Saddam turned the other way. Iran used to be proxy when Reza Pahlavi was there. Until he was taken out. So if you see the pattern, you will see that what we see here, those axes of resistance, America feels is the axis of resistance. America deals with them, takes them out. Now you see it if you see it in Lebanon, when Hariri was there, when you had this Lebanese president who was a Christian, who was pro-Israel and pro-America, Lebanon had no issues. So you could see that run through. If you go back, you could see that same politics repeating itself. Because any country that is anti-American, particularly if that area is strategic, America would find either a proxy, or if you can't find a proxy, to take that country out. So I'll divide this hegemony thing that I'm talking about into two. Now, that's one is geopolitics, and with respect to the Middle East, the geopolitics of West Asia, the Middle East. And then the other point, the other aspect would be the geostrategic chokehold, or choke point, if you like, that America has, all of them relating to America. Now, if you look at the most strategic maritime ways that you have in the world, first of all, you see the Straits of Hormuz. Now, 1/3 of world maritime activity, transportation or shipping, goes through there. And who is in control? Iran. So if Iran blocks the Hormuz, the world suffers, because suddenly it's going to create an impact. It's going to affect, because that's where all the crude oil from the Middle East passes through. So if there's a problem there that is outside the control of America, you would see the impact in terms of oil supply world over. Right now, it's already going up. Crude oil prices are going on. In fact, it's even impacting on Nigeria, because Dangote now buys his oil from America, crude from America. So if crude oil goes up, it's going to affect us. Now, the second other strategic part is the Suez Canal. again within the same area. The third is the Gulf of Aden. That's Yemen, again within the same area. And then the fourth, which is not too strategic, is also the Straits of Gibraltar in Morocco, which is about, the narrowest part, 9 miles, we are already in Europe. So all these are located within this same area of conflict. And whoever controls it, whoever dominates the world somehow, dominates the commerce and so on and so forth. So the struggle that we have now is basically, I just reduce them into three things. If you read Ben Norton, this is what Ben Norton says. He says that, all this struggle that you see here between Iran and Israel is just a question of hegemony. One, America wants to destroy the axis of resistance in the Middle East, colonize Palestine, destabilize the revolutionary Iranian government, preserve the petrodollar system, prevent the dollarization, divide the BRICS, and break up the Iran, Russia, and China partnership, which is building, because that partnership is trying to challenge, America. So, and America doesn't want that. So all these things that you're seeing, it's just coming from one source, America. So that is why you find out most of the time, before Israel goes to strike, America is aware. The bunker buster that Israel is asking for America from, is just because they don't have it in their war arsenal. And even the bunker buster that America has cannot go deep. It can't go beyond, at one strike, it can't go beyond 200 miles. But yes, the facilities that Iran has, particularly in Fordon, is beyond that. In the mountain, is down between 300 to about 1,000. So you have to continuously strike that location to be able to penetrate and get down there to do havoc. Israel doesn't have that capability, and that's why they're asking America, to do that. But Donald Trump is probably having problems with his team. Some are saying don't, some are saying go ahead, but he's watching to see if Israel will strike Iran to a point where Iran will submit, and then there will be no need to use that. But the point is that two things are going to happen in this war. That are going to be a regime change, because Reza Pahlavi, the prince, is already warming up. They are trying to cause insurrection in Iran, and he's already started, so that they can, there'll be an internal uprising, and then he can come back. He's already positioning himself. The Air Force, for instance, is divided. The Air Force is even asking people to change their loyalty to the Crown Prince, because he's
sorry. Are you actually saying that? Are you saying in Iran, the Air Force in Iran is saying they should change their loyalty?
Yes, you can Google that.
I've never heard of it.
Already, and there's been some riots, some demonstrations in favor of because right now we don't even know what has happened. The Ayatollah, for instance, has handed over to the army commander. Nobody knows what has happened to the Ayatollah, if he's been killed, or there are speculations that he's been killed or he's not been killed. So nobody knows. But whatever it is, if he's alive, he's not safe. So
what
he's
are you
hiding in
talking
the
about?
bunker.
Ayatollah gave a speech a few days ago.
Wow,
He's alive.
wow, man, Tony, man.
Oh, fine.
Hold on.
Now begin to see why I am against you.
Hold on, let me finish, please. I said that nobody knows if he's alive or he's dead. There's speculation. I said that. I never said he's dead. I said, but he has handed over power.
That is a very dangerous speculation to be making. That is very
excuse me. Hold on. Oh my God. Let me learn and I can answer. AY, I know you are a Muslim and you think I'm talking, I'm not supporting Israel. If you want to know that. Hold on, let me tell you. Hold on.
Mr. Tone,
anything I say here, you can Google it. So don't anything I say here, You can Google it. Okay,
Just
that's
allow
how
him
we
to
learn.
talk. Allow him to talk. Can do. Allow the man to
That's how
talk.
we learn. If you want to learn, you Google, and then we can bring it up and we can. But don't just say it's not true.
Why did you have to bring
what
it
I'm
at that
trying to
point?
say, what I'm trying to say here, what I'm trying to say is that the aggressor here clearly is Israel. Is Israel? I'm a Christian. I support Israel, but the aggressor in this whole thing is Israel. Okay, and it's being propped up by America. And the whole idea is the only axis, the only other country that is standing up in the Middle East against American interests is Iran. And so if you take out Iran and put in a government that is pro-America, then you are about solving the problem of the Middle East the way America wants it. That's the point I'm trying to make. Now, the point is, the other point is that there is also an economic interest, because you can see how America has plundered Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, Libya, Iraq, now Iran, and you can even go down to Africa and put Libya and put Sudan. So the point is that anywhere you find any country that is anti-America, that is probably going to stand, they go after that country and bring that country down. So the policy here, what we are seeing is hegemony. America trying to control the entire world and make sure that, and it's happening at a time where Russia has its own problems, fighting against Ukraine, so it's not going to pay good attention, to what is happening over here. If you go to China, China is more interested in its, economic imperialism. China is more interested in pursuing its economic interest.
Can I ask you a question?
So,
Can I ask you a question before the next person? Do you think that Hamas, Israel, Western ally, there is a kind of unholy Western alliance? Hear me out, because one, Hamas seems to be favoring the vision of Netanyahu. Netanyahu is able to go to this thing. First, Hamas helped divide the Palestinian government into two.
Hamas?
Then, yes, because it's not working with Fatah, so they divided, and it was a pretext for not giving them independence. Then you look at what the Israelis did with the pager attack on Hezbollah. They were able to do that and decapitated quite a lot of their leadership. And then you look at how they dealt with the Iranians. But somehow, Hamas was able to build tunnels all around Israel there and train people to use it, then able to breach the fence of Israel without Netanyahu knowing about it. And then it resulted in the massacre that brought this war on. Then, for how many months now, somehow Israeli forces with all their power cannot suppress Hamas. It just seems too convenient.
Okay, this is not those funds that came from for Hamas to build all those things came largely from Qatar. It came from mostly Arab states who cannot come up openly. And these are countries that pretend to be friends to America. Yes, and Iran. These are countries that pretend to be friends to America. But underneath, they are supporting, what the funds that were sent may not have been sent to build bunkers and underground stuff. It may well have been, just there to, make sure that they provide for the people for infrastructure and so on and so forth. But Hamas probably diverted them and used them for what he wanted to do. But the point is that, you see, if you look at the Middle East, if you look at even Egypt, that pretends to be a friend to Israel, does allow some transaction between it and Hamas. Yet they in Africa, they are one of the facts. I'm sure in Africa, America provides more in terms of equipment to them that would not provide to any other country in Africa. Okay, again, you see the duplicity there, because if you look at Egypt, when the Muslim Brotherhood won the election, a democratic, free and fair election in Egypt. Okay, and America be democratic. Now there was a democratic election, and Egyptians voted, and they voted for Muslim for the Muslim Brotherhood. They won that election, but because they are not pro-America, they are going to put in a government that is not pro-America and that the West does not like. Then, so what you saw was that they encouraged a situation where the Muslim Brotherhoods were taken away by a military, by a coup, and yet America frowns at coup d'état. America, pursues this whole idea of, democracy and so on. Yet they encouraged the coup, which took out Muslim Brotherhood, and then the president, this thing came in, Assisi came in, and then transmitted into a civilian president. And America kept a blind eye, and America is propping it up. They didn't say one word. Because why? It satisfied their interest. So
thank you.
If you look at the entire Middle East, the whole thing is hegemony. Is America trying to get control and trying to make sure that it's not just making sure that there's peace there so that, the politics of oil would not, be disrupted in terms of price. Yeah, that may be a factor. But the point is also, if you can control the Middle East, you almost will affect the entire world because of the strategic nature of that region. So that's what I see in this whole thing. Eventually, my thinking is that this Iranian government is not going to survive. It's going to be taken out, and there will be in place a government that is pro-America. Because if that is the only reason why, what is his name, Trump would come in. That is the only reason. If he sees that there's a likelihood that this government cannot be taken out based on what Israel has done right now, then Trump is going to come in. Because in one of his speeches, he has said that what he wants to do is to unite them. When he was talking about Iran, Russia, and China partnership, he wants to unite them because he knows that these are people who are either politically or economically opposed to America or American interests. Let me just stop there. So,
Father, please, 5 seconds.
I don't know if you have a question. That's my position.
Because Oga Ike is on the call now. Okay, go ahead.
What I'm trying to say, right? So, first of all, the issue of crown peace in Iran does not arise. There is no protest anywhere in Iran. Anybody wanting the crown peace back. Crown peace has been in Israel since 1960.
Fathers, can you Google that, please? Fathers, please Google that for us.
Let me finish.
The only place where you have any counter protest is in Western countries.
The second thing that was deliberate was issue of Ayatollah Khamenei has given power to somebody. That's not true. Two, in the time of war, the military make good decisions. Ayatollah Khamenei is still the supreme leader of Iran. Whatever decision you want to make has to pass through him. He's still in that position. He might have said, okay, if I die, this is the successor, but he's still alive. And there was a press conference last week, and he's still in charge of Iran. Thank you.
I can tell you, I can give you the name of the general. I can give you the name of the general whom he asked. Why he went to the bunker? He's in the bunker. He's hiding.
No, hold on. That is how it is done. I think what happened was that they reported it that the Iranian leader, he passed a rule to say that he gave the military officials more powers, not
that is how it's done everywhere.
Exactly, that's how it's done in the time of conflict.
In America now, you have to give some more power to the military to make decisions.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
What are you talking about?
And there is no anti. Let me see if I can show that there's no anti.
That crown peace is in hell. It does not have any say in Iran. That's not true. Iran are united.
Yeah. That's your view. That's your view.
That's
your view.
No. I think Tony. You see, Tony. Let's do better than this now. When you will see that most of the protests you see in Iran is people rallying together and protesting against Israel. And in reality, this is the nature of most nations. If you attack a nation, they unite with their country. They unite, not divide. So
Forefathers, I want you to Google those stuff. I just want you to Google it. When you Google it, and you give us the facts.
I'm showing it to you right now. I put
Yes.
Iran
Father, let
anti-regime
him find you
protest. There is
the link.
none. There is
Stop
none.
wasting your time. Let him find you
There's
the
none.
link. We are here.
They
There
said
is nothing
Iran.
like that.
This one happened. This one happened in the UK. If I'm not mistaken, Iran supporters attack anti-regime protesters. So they were anti-regime protesters in another country, like in London, near embassy. So they attacked them.
You know here who alleges must prove. Tell Mr. Tony, give us the link. Give us the YouTube where they are protesting.
I'll give you the name now. I'll give you the name now of the general. I'll give you the name now. Yes, I'll give you the name now. I'm looking for his name now. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
No,
I don't say things I don't know.
They are protesting. They want the crown prince. Put it here. Let everybody see. Father will display it.
The crown prince has even spoken. The crown prince has even spoken.
No.
Forefathers, you Google it.
No,
there is nothing to Google.
No, it's not there. It's not there, Tony.
Father, you waste your time. I can tell you that for free. That crown prince, nobody wants him in Iran. Nobody.
That's your personal view.
I have to say, let me add one more thing. I have to say that me, Ayatollah before now, I think my view is beginning to change about him. In the sense that, let me just mute Tony first. So the way I perceive him is a little bit different, because the image they paint of him is somebody that is so radical, he hates the West so much, and is willing to fight, and is very belligerent, in other words. But what I see is somebody that is just a devout Muslim.
He's very peaceful, very peaceful.
He's just a devout Muslim. And because of that devotion to his faith, he probably has put his country in danger.
Yeah.
Because he went and passed a fatwa that they should not go nuclear because he doesn't believe in it. That is dangerous game to play, you know. And at the same time, you want to enrich. You are playing a dangerous game. And they say he hates America so much, but yet he had a deal with America.
Okay, forefathers, can other people have a different view? Those who have you guys are just running in circles. Let's have a different perspective.
No. Okay, I wanted Oga Ike to speak. Oga Ike, sorry about I think we probably jumped you somewhere along the line. I apologize for that. I wanted to ask you though, in the way it relates to Nigeria, because I think you tend to prefer to look at these things from a Nigerian perspective. Given everything that is happening, you see Iran, one day they were minding their own business. The next day they are under fire. Top brass is gone. What do you think we can learn from this? Should we start preparing? Should Soludo change the building regulations in the Anambra State to include the bomb shelter? Because right now we are like market women. We are just open for everybody. This is not proper. Are we not going to learn from this and start doing something to prepare for a day of tribulation when it comes? Because it will come. The day will come someday. So what do you think?
Good evening, everybody. First of all, let me say, I want to borrow a leaf from what Jagu said when my brother Ewa said he was disappointed and you made a comment. I think that as much as you read every book, Bible is a book. Bible is not a fake book. You can read the Bible. He talked about the book of Revelation. If you read the book of Revelation, doesn't make you a Christian. It's for you to get the perspective of what the Bible said about what is going on around the world today. I don't want to go deep to Daniel and whatever, but at least the book of Revelation, as he said to you, I'm not trying to become a Bible student, but that particular book of Revelation, you can read it. I too can read it because I also somebody teach me how to read the Quran. So when you read it doesn't mean you are not a Christian, no. But for you to get the perspective of what is written in that particular place. So the book of Bible is not fake story. It's not fake news. So that's my only candid advice. I'm not telling you read it now, but take your time to read that particular book of Revelation. You will understand what is going on around the world today. It's already written there 2,000 years ago already. So for most people,
that's what I'm saying. I have read
about that, right? So
we know Babylon the Great. riding the back of a beast.
I want to come by on the side when Brother James was talking, when he talked about the way forward to how we can find peace. But one thing I want to add to that is for him to remember that United Nations is owned by America. So every decision that is taken in the United Nations, America has the final say. So whatever you say you want to take to the United Nations, America will always have the people that are going to follow him. Like, as you say, the Europeans and some other countries like Japan and South Korea, all those countries are going to back America anywhere they stand. So it's not the issue of United Nations. UN can only talk. They can only talk. They don't. They are toothless bulldog. What has they been able to achieve? You know. So I don't think that's the solution. My only concern is that I want to borrow from what Tony said when he was speaking. This particular time, Israel is the aggressor. I said it from the beginning. Every year at the United Nations, they will tell us that it is 3 months for Iran to get nuclear bomb. Every year they will tell us it is 6 months for Iran to get nuclear bomb. This nuclear bomb that they are saying after 3 months, can't 3 months finish in this war? Because ever since I've been hearing Iran and America and the United Nations, it has always been, they will have in the next 6 months, they will have nuclear bomb. In the next 8 months, they will have nuclear bomb.
You are right.
So when is it going to end? When is the 3 months and 6 months and 8 months going to finish, so that we will be able to know actually what is the true fact? This is the way they told us that Iraq has mass destruction, weapon of mass destruction. They went to Iraq and ended up coming and telling us that there was no weapon of mass destruction in Iraq, and the country has already gone. So, in as much as what is going on right now is not good for anybody, let's draw it back to our country called Nigeria. Let me tell you, nobody is going to invade Nigeria. Nigerians will only invade themselves. Nigeria don't need the outside people to invade them. It is Nigerians themselves that will take over their country. From the people that are holding the country, we don't need any external forces to come and begin to drive plane or drive nuclear bomb in Nigeria. No, it's Nigerians themselves that should be able to take over their country from the criminal oligarchs that are holding the country captive. We don't need anybody. We know what the problem our country is. We don't need anybody to come and help us to rescue Nigeria. We can rescue Nigeria by ourselves. If not, the issue of what happened in Benue State, are you telling me that even civilians had the information that this attack is going to take place? Then the military hierarchy is telling us that they didn't know this information. Is it what you are trying to say? Because they are accomplices to the crime. Because all of them are members of this group. Because they give them the correct information what is going on. Because this is, I want to thank the Tortiv, because he poured it on the face of your president, because he was trying to paint a picture that is not what it is. And I was happy that he was bold enough to stand before the president and told him what is going on. It is Islamization and Fulanization. That is what is going on. It is genocide that is being committed in Benue State. So I don't think that forefathers anybody is going to invade Nigeria. No country is going to come to invade Nigeria. But it's just Nigerians themselves who wake up one morning and decide that, listen, enough is enough.
Why do you believe that nobody will?
I am telling you, this is my confidence. I don't know about any other person. I'm telling you my personal confidence that I have about Nigeria, that it is Nigerians themselves that is going to take over the country themselves. The day they feel that they are tired, enough, everybody will rise up and everybody will answer his father's name in Nigeria. I don't expect anybody to come and invade your country, right? So personally, for me, I don't like what is going on in the Middle East. I'm not enjoying it, because every news we have had has always been fake. It is every time America will bring. Let me remind those who supported Trump. He said that Democrats they were engineering war all over the world that is coming to stop the war. I don't think he's stopping the war, and I think he's beginning the war, right? So nobody is safe, right? So I think that we ourselves as Nigerians or Africans or the people from the third world, we should know that we are not safe anywhere. You're only safe because you are in Britain. I'm only safe because I'm in Benue. You are safe wherever you are. But as far as that continent is concerned, we are not safe. But in my own country called Nigeria, I'm forefathers to me, nobody is going to invade Nigeria. We will invade the country by ourselves. And that when we do it by ourselves, I think that should be the best thing that can happen to Nigeria when Nigerians themselves decide to take over their country by themselves. We don't need anybody. Okay? Thank you.
If you said so.
Hey, stop looking at that girl because I know you like her.
Oh my God. This is unacceptable, guy. How can you say that?
I'm a man of God. I can marry multiple wives, but I don't I don't do those kind of, I don't do side chick. No, it's lazy men.
Are you sure?
He's a guy man, though.
Are you sure?
No, I can do multiple wives, but I don't do side chick. They are waste of time.
Okay, because this one hand is holding.
No, people that know me will tell you I don't have time for those kind of rubbish.
I can't believe you just said
so
that.
If you want to give me a wife, it's okay. I will collect it, but not side chick.
Okay, for wife,
I see her room for more. Yeah, I see her room for more. You want to give me one? You are all day. You can't throw me one.
I will have to tell her company so that they know whether they can give it to you.
Wow. That's a good one. Let me share this to add weight to what Ike said about Netanyahu. Let's just play this quickly.
Probably heard this line before.
Iran has never given up its quest for nuclear weapons and the missiles to deliver them.
That's because Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying this for more than 30 years, claiming Iran is close to having
nuclear weapons. Atomic bombs.
In 1992, as a member of parliament, Netanyahu addresses the Knesset. He says, within 3 to 5 years, we can assume that Iran will become autonomous in its ability to develop and produce a nuclear bomb. 3 years later, in his book Fighting Terrorism, he repeats the same time frame, 3 to 5 years.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Fast forward to 2002. Netanyahu testifies before a U.S. congressional committee actively calling for the invasion of Iraq.
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The two nations that are competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran.
The invasion happens months later. No weapons of mass destruction are found in Iraq. This is a fragment of a 2009 U.S. State Department cable released by WikiLeaks. Netanyahu tells members of Congress that Iran is 1 or 2 years away from being capable of developing nuclear weapons.
They're online.
It's 2012, and Netanyahu is holding up his infamous cartoon bomb at the UN General Assembly.
By next spring, at most by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb.
And now, 33 years after Netanyahu's first so-called imminent warning, Israel attacks Iran.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year.
That's despite the U.S. Director of National Intelligence saying Iran isn't building a nuclear weapon months earlier.
Iran lied.
But for Netanyahu,
big time.
The slogan has been the same for decades. Dmitry Medvedenko, Al Jazeera.
You know, who do you blame? Is it the people that are buying the snake oil or the snake oil man? I don't know who to blame here because the guy has been saying it since
delusional.
And people keep listening to him. Don't you blame the people that are listening to him and giving him power on top of it? I don't know who to blame anymore because the guy is crazy. He's been saying this since in the 90s, and nothing has happened. And it turns out that this Ayatollah guys, they don't seem to be as devilish as people make them sound. And Americans too. I don't know why they do that. They just make them sound like devils. And they had a peace. They had an agreement with America. If they were so hateful of America, the great Satan, why did they go and sign a deal with the great Satan? Why did they say, no, we will never get ourselves involved with the Satan. We are going to make sure we go nuclear and destroy the Satan. That's not what they did. North Korea won't tolerate that nonsense. North Korea was not having that nonsense, like telling them what to do. They just went and built it and forget about it. Now the question is telling them not to use it or not to build more. And they are not listening. So I don't understand the way. This is a test for international order. If America goes in there, whatever happens, America will be blamed for it. Because it turns out that these guys are not as devilish as they make them sound. I'm seriously saying that because I didn't think that they mean that business. But why shouldn't I think that? Because this is a religious leader and at the same time he's a leader. Because he's a religious leader, if he puts a fatwa and he's found to have lied, that would have, it would have undermined his spiritual and religious way of looking at the world. You see what I mean? So that is why they didn't go nuclear. But if they are going to go nuclear now, it's going to be because China or Russia decided that they're going to share the knowledge with them because they already have the materials. Share the knowledge with them to help them finish the job.
So, forefathers, let me help you. It's good to see everybody again.
Yeah, just to make sure there's solar there and this. We need to move on to Nigeria. This Benue thing, I really wanted us to talk about Benue.
Yeah, but let me have my say. I've been going patiently.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, I'm not sure when you started believing religious leaders. It's the same thing in Islam and it's the same thing in Christianity. If you believe that the guy swore a fatwa that he wouldn't develop a nuclear bomb and he's enriching uranium, close to 60-70%, then, you believe Tinubu in anything he says. Most people, if you need uranium, nuclear materials for commercial purposes, electricity, you only need about 5%. And what are you doing with? So why, clearly,
let me ask you this question. I will ask you a question, then you can carry on. But do you know that under the agreement that they had before with America, that they are allowed to do what they are doing now?
No, we'll come back to all this. I'm just saying, I just took you by the last thing you said, that if he lied, that religious leaders lie all the time. Khamenei, who was there before him, he lied to the Iranian people. We can go back. I don't want to. I have something I want to say.
If you make a claim, you are on this session. This is how you. Yeah. If you make a claim,
I have my say.
What lie did he tell?
Oh, what he promised. Oh, the revolution was about freedom. Which freedom is there in Iran? Are you serious? The revolution was that the Ayatollah was a dictator. Is the supreme leader not a dictator?
Freedom.
That's what they promised.
Have you been to Iran?
Democracy. Are you serious? I don't want to go into a rabbit hole. That's why I don't want to be answering your question. Let me have my say.
It's a subjective thing because there's no country that has freedom. Even America doesn't.
Well, I know what I'm saying. If you know where Iran was, everybody knows what freedom is. Freedom is about freedom of worship, freedom of association, freedom of religion. You don't have that in Iran. You don't even have freedom to wear whatever you want. They had it before. So, let's not start to kid ourselves, because the truth is, what I'm seeing here is that I understand that Israel started this war. I think everybody has established that. But the idea of trying to, turn the truth black to be white, then doesn't make any sense. Forefathers, in fact, the reason I came here is because of you. Because every day you keep talking about security and you keep saying, oh, we need to do this to be able to be strong. Well, Israel is doing everything. Israel has taken all the advice you've been given. Can you imagine a small country like Israel is beating up Iran, slapping them up and down, and they seem to be helpless. Everything you have said, if you're just going to be honest to yourself, Israel is doing.
No, I agree with you in the sense that Israel
So
is very is one
Israel
of the
is
few
just
countries that
9.5
actually
million, just
is conscious of
9.5 million.
Israel.
So,
There are actually 7 point something million Jews, and the other 2 million they don't regard them as basically they are not human beings. Let's face it.
Yeah, but
Point is that
we can get to other points, whether they are human beings
and
or
Iran
not.
is 75, like you said, 75,
But
75% time,
see,
more than Israel. So the point that Oti is making is very
I
valid.
think to be fair, the
I'm
point
not
I was
Oti. I'm not
sorry,
Oti. I'm not
just for
Oti.
clarity before people come
Sorry,
people start saying that
sorry, Odi.
just for clarification before people start saying that I'm saying that Israel treats the other people as non-human beings. My point is that I think in the military it's only the Jews that are allowed to serve in the military, not the Arab. The Arabs are not allowed to serve in the Israeli military. So from that point of view, in terms of their security, is the Jewish ones that champion it, and they are the ones that lead the way. And if
It's
you talk
good
about
for the
freedom,
Arabs. Look,
hold on,
I'd rather be.
calm down now. If you talk about freedom, can you live in a country where you are not permitted to serve in the military?
I love that country. I want to be in a country where I don't want to serve in the military. What am I going to serve in the military for? Are you seriously kidding me? You're saving my life. It's like,
No, because what that means is that when it comes to other rules,
you're trying to get me in a Q&A. I really,
it's only fair, it's only fair.
let me just land with my point, then we'll do Q&A. See, my point is this. What's the origin of all this problem? There's a war between two countries. Where did it start? Like when you are in primary school, like there's always a bully, right? And you see the bully, some kids just go and call their mother's name, and the bully will beat them up. There's always some point of, where did this start from? Can you tell me, anybody here, what did Israel do to Iran? The Iran started, revolution. There was a revolution in 1979.
It's very simple. What caused it was the fact that Israel didn't let the Palestinians go. If Israel let the Palestinians go, that issue would die down.
Is it their problem? Did they do anything? See, the problem, and Israel is trying to do to Hezbollah to Iran what they did to Hezbollah. Me and you, they quarrel. We have no problem. Me and you, we have no problem. We are friends. And you said, because of what I'm doing to another person, you will fight me. That's how this thing started. Iran and Israel, they've had good relationship. Everybody knows that the King Cyrus.
But are you saying, what you are saying seems to be like if Hitler was torturing Jews the Nazi was torturing Jews, that because he's doing it to some other people, America shouldn't have intervened.
But see how you brought up Hitler's name.
Yes, because you are using an argument that
we can bring in many people. We can bring in Napoleon. We can bring in the Fulanis in Nigeria. There are people torturing people and killing them everywhere in this world.
I'm just saying that point doesn't seem fair to judge the
No, but I'm just saying that look, two countries were there in 1979. Two friends. They were doing business. These people have done business for centuries. No problem. In fact, if you even look at it, Abraham is from Iran. These Jews, they are from Iran. If you look at the history, Abraham is an Iranian man, or from around that region. So they have no problem. It was the Bible that we are talking about. The first time they started putting it in big letters was from Iran. It was Emperor Cyrus that allowed them to write it.
Why are you not saying that Israel should let the Palestinians go?
I'm not saying that. I don't want to talk about. I'm just saying. I'm talking about Iran. See, you want to bring in Palestine in this story, and that's the problem with this.
You ask the question: why is Iran against Israel? I'm telling you.
No, I said, where did the problem start?
You need to just let him talk. It's never.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Israel and Iran, they had direct flights from Tehran to Tel Aviv, 1979. The first Ayatollah takes over and declares Israel their enemy. one of the oldest synagogues in the world is still in Iran. Even the Ayatollah, to give him the first one comment, to give him the credit, swore a fatwa that he would not do anything to the Jews in Iran. Many of them left Iran because, and that's why you have a lot of Mossad activity going on there up to today. Now, what we are saying is, me and you, we have no problem. And you just swore that we will not exist. What do you think I will do? I will do everything to exist. Forefather, we'll just take forefathers' formula. Says, protect yourself at all costs. Israel has done everything. They have got a nuclear bomb, like forefather recommended. They have got the superior air power, like forefather recommended. And they are using it to flog anybody that says they should not exist. And you're crying for those people that say, somebody said, oh, there's no dissent in Iran. They're all together. Are you seriously kidding me? This Iran, don't you know Persian people in wherever you live? They hate the regime. Even up to today, they hate the regime. Yes, is Netanyahu a liar? Everybody, even in Washington, they know that he's not been saying the truth. And is this about hegemony? Yes. And you see, forefather is like, there was, I think 2 weeks ago, he said that you take slaughtering of many Nigerians to just get a nuclear bomb. You see, that's what happens. This is a suicide mission that these people have gone on. You can't have, many people were chatting about BRICS and all this and jumping around and crying for BRICS. I said, look, when what's his name? South African president went to the White House to go and cry before Trump. They removed the S in BRICS. It became BRIC. Now they're trying to remove the I. It will soon be only C and Russia. Let me tell you, even the Russia that you're talking about, and for you people, when people start crying for all these Oyibo people, they are brothers. So, you see this people say, oh, Russia, there's going to be world war. Not from this one. No. Russia and America, Russia is not going to antagonize America on Iran. Russia is not supporting. They are just, look at what they are, even before I said it, look at the statement they have delivered about this. This is someone that signed a strategic partnership with Russia just last year because they anticipated this will come. And Russia has not lived up to anything. It's even China that has managed to deliver small deliveries for them. Everybody's have allowed them to just suffer on their own. The lesson is very simple. There's an order in this world now. You have to understand where you are, make the best from your situation. You see those princes in Oman and Saudi Arabia and all, they know where they belong, and they are respecting themselves because they don't want their country. Look, what do you think that the Ayatollah is threatening? Listen to the Iranian regime. What they are threatening is not America. They are threatening the kingdoms of the sword and all those. They said they are going to destabilize all of them. They are not even they are not threatening the Oyibo people who are destroying their country. They know they can't do too much to Israel. Israel has killed like 700 people or 600 and something, and they 25. And Israel, if they want to kill 1 million by now, they would have done that. Israel has a nuclear bomb. You people forget. What Israel is saying, this man said, I will destroy Israel. Israel has never said they will destroy Iran.
Yes,
They've not said that.
Oh, you've just been saying a lot of things.
I think, you see, the thing is, if I say I'm going to do something, I don't have the way to do it, and you have the way to do it.
But you're looking for a way to do it.
You see what you are doing. You see what you are doing is you are basically, as a matter of fact, you are basically saying Israel. It's almost as if you are proud saying Israel has killed 700 people. But if it's the other way around, you'll be completely.
I'm not sure. I said no. I said no. I said if Israel wanted to kill 1 million, they would have done that. What Israel has been targeting is mainly all the senior. Do you know how many head of is this? They are conducting a real war.
Israel is targeting. They've killed 700 people, but they are targeting this thing.
They are targeting mostly the senior leadership.
They literally bombed a TV channel when they know people are in there, civilians are there.
How many people, if they wanted to kill everybody in that TV channel, they would have.
You see, oh my God, do you hear yourself? You are basically saying, oh, if they wanted to kill everybody, they will kill everybody, but they are killing people anyway.
Forefather.
I don't know, man.
Ode that is supporting the killing of children in Gaza. You are expecting him to tell
It's
you.
okay. You that you supported the killing of children in Biafra. You didn't say anything. It's the children of Palestine that you're crying for.
No. I was not even alive when Biafra
Because of Islam. You see, the problem is everybody is baked in with their own, sensitivities. Because you're a Muslim, you're crying over anything that is said.
That is a mistake.
And that's the problem.
That is another big mistake.
It's a mistake. I am AY. Hold on. You see, the difference is that one, there is one big sin in the middle of all this. The people of Palestine are still under oppression, brutal one for that matter, an extermination process whereby they are slowly exterminating them. This is something none of us would accept. And that is the gravest sin of Israel. I've spoken to Israelis. I've told them, you can spin around and jostle and excuse yourself all you want. Iran is not the reason why you are holding Palestinians. You are holding them because you want that land. You're holding them because you cannot have them join your country because you are so racist that you want your nation to be a Jewish nation. Otherwise, you would have brought them into the country. So in other words, you can't have them there because you want the land. So what is your plan? Your plan is either to expel them or kill them all. That is the only solution that they're looking for. And they are moving on with the killing as many as possible and expelling them. Literally, Netanyahu has said it now. He came out within a month ago, said they are going to carry out the operation there. They will take most of the land away from them in Gaza, put them in one area, and then they will start asking them to voluntarily leave the area as much as possible.
They've said it for over 30 years.
Yeah, but he has not announced it openly.
No,
like
I'm
this.
saying
and it's the prime minister now when he's saying it. So that this is openly now. They are talking about ethnic cleansing openly.
They've been saying it. The problem
I know, but a lot of people don't believe it now.
People don't want to hear it. You see,
Forefathers,
it's just like
I
you
think
see.
That is the gravest sin. I'm not going to fault them for worrying about their security and all the rest of it. But that one shows you the sadistic nature of the forces we are dealing with here. They don't want those people to go.
Forefathers, I think it's my turn.
Yeah, go ahead. You can talk about anything. We don't have a lot of time. We have about 17 minutes to go.
Yeah,
so
I'll try and wrap it up in 5 minutes. Let me set my clock.
Let me just go.
Mr. James gave an incredible dissertation, masterclass for anybody who knows anything about the history of all of this. There are no solutions. I was having a conversation, I think about, 3 weeks ago or so, that, all of the countries around Israel, there's nothing these people can do to help the Palestinians. Absolutely nothing. They've been beaten twice. Egypt, Syria, all of them decimated twice. And that was even before Israel had any of these weapons that they have now. With the support of the United States, what do you want them to do? To go and fight because of however number of Palestinian people and get wiped out the face of the planet? So they are you can't split this baby. Netanyahu has been what he has been for over 2 decades. We've been watching this movie since 1990 something. From the days of Arafat and Isaac Rabin at the White House. We've been watching this movie. It's been ongoing for a long time. But the thing is this, just like I've heard a number of people say on here a number of times, that if your neighbor is threatening you, what will you do? I will never support the state of Israel. I will never. I was having a conversation this week with someone. I said, we have all gone mad, all of us. Both the people that are involved, both the silent ones amongst us that just say and do nothing. I know there's very little that we can do. But People are going to go and get food. And some crazy people, whoever they are, whatever, I don't care if it's Nigeria, I don't care if it's my village people, you're killing 40, 60 people a day trying to get food. And all of us have just become blind to this. Every single day for like the last 10 days. There are no solutions. I do not expect Israel not to go in and try and take out whatever. I don't support it. Let me make that very clear. But when your neighbor, when your sworn enemy, whoever, however it is that you're sworn, say you're going to destroy me, what do you think I'm supposed to let you live? You think I'm supposed to wait until you get that weapon and come and take me out? Life is not fair. Look, I've heard all these conversations on so many different levels regarding so many different things. Oh, this is not fair. How can they allow this one? Life is not fair. It will never be fair. If you think that, oh, because North Korea got it, India got it, that's not the way the world works. And regardless of whatever missiles Iran has, let me tell you, Israel has taken over that headspace. There's nothing they can do. Let them shoot 1 million missiles. The vast majority of them will be shot down. And there's this notion that Iran is bombing particular places. No. When you shoot a missile up and you send another missile to go and attack it, the remnant is going to fall wherever it falls, be it an hospital, be it a school, be it a synagogue. The vast majority of the destruction that you see in Israel are from the impacted missiles that were coming in, falling wherever they do. But
do you know that there is a limit? Do you know that there is a limit to Israel's missile interceptor batteries?
Mr. Forefathers,
based on the calculation, they say they are going to be running out soon.
They started running out.
Let me tell you, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Have you seen one single Iranian aircraft go up there and try and defend?
Because that's not their war strategy. They don't have their strategy.
Okay, all of you can keep dreaming.
No, let me ask you this.
Father, you were the one praising Iran for how big they were, all the things they had. Now they are slapping them around.
When somebody has control of
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you so you understand what we are talking about here. Are you aware that Israel is 75 times smaller than Iran? So in other words, Iran just has one small space to be throwing missiles into. Israel has to do a lot to accomplish anything close to what Iran is accomplishing.
Okay.
So that is the scale. If Israel throws 20
please stop saying that thing. It looks very bad on me.
I'm trying to give you a scale of what Israel is facing here. That's why they're asking Americans to join.
That was a day of water gun that you're thinking about. Water gun. You shoot me with water gun, I shoot you with water gun. This is a totally different program. You're not ready for this type of level. You're not ready. When somebody
can do without due respect,
what is different?
Please tell him. Thank you.
Literally, Israel has to fire 75 rockets for every one that Iran fires.
And like Mr. Odi said, if Israel was really interested in killing civilians, they would have killed thousands of them.
Because if they, this is
say that.
That's
the argument you all make all the time. People Israel can kill thousands like that.
No, listen. Just like we all start here.
Hitler killed millions just because he wanted to do it. Israel is not trying to do that.
Do you know why Israel doesn't just go all out and start killing people anyhow they like? Because if they do that, other people will join Iran and fight them.
Listen, Iran, I promise you, there's no Egypt. There's no Egypt. There's no Egypt.
You can talk. It's open now.
There's no Egypt. There's no Syria. There's nobody to come and help Iran. At the end of the day, they're going to bow down. They're going to bow down and say, "Oh God, I surrender."
All right,
They
okay,
don't have
can do.
nothing. They have
Can do.
absolutely
Can
nothing.
do. With all due respect, you have no idea
Yes,
what you're
sir.
talking about. For you to even say, well, the only things hitting Israel right now are remnants of missiles. You definitely don't even understand how missiles work. It's okay. It's
I
okay.
didn't say the
You
only
don't. So
thing. No,
let me
let's be
start.
clear
Let me
though. I
start
didn't
from
say
here.
the only
What I
thing.
was gonna say.
Sola, get ready. You have to say something. The
I was
Sedicas
gonna
and the
start.
Festus, you guys have to say something before we round up.
I was gonna start with. Are you gonna start a new stream? After
No,
this?
no, it's women's section after
Oh,
now.
women's section. Okay, because I was gonna start with all the things Odie said, but
You know, Fofana can use military
what
power
I
to
was gonna
cancel
do? Like the
women's
best thing I'm
section
just
anyway.
gonna do is just
You want me to get into trouble?
The best thing I was just gonna do was to just ignore everything Odie said, because it doesn't even make sense going there saying they don't have freedom. Then you're talking about a fatwa. Like, I don't even know where you guys are all going with this. Let's start with the JCPOA, okay? And I would assume someone like Tony, and I see he's quiet. So someone like Tony was actually who I wanted to listen to when it comes to all of this, because everybody else is just all over the place waffling. Now, Odie is saying something, and if you are listening to Western media, you would believe this. Oh, Iran is getting their ass kicked. You see Kanu talking about they control the airspace. Yeah, if you're listening to Western media, if really that was what was happening, by now we would know where David Bernier is. For those of you who don't know, David Bernier is the head of the Mossad.
How many Iranian
Let
aircraft
me
have you
finish,
seen?
please.
Have you seen? How many?
Let me finish. I'm not here to argue infantile nonsense. So David Barnier is the head of the Mossad. As at now, we do not know where David Barnier is, including the head of the Shin Bet, because the Mossad headquarters 8890 has been hit. It was hit directly 3 times in a row 4 days ago. As far as we know, David Barnier, the head of the Mossad, the so-called most accurate intelligence agency in the world, we know is dead. He was probably
Tony did the same thing. All you guys trying to stop him. Tony did that. Forefather. Tony brought up this unverified information, and you guys stopped him. Why are you not stopping him now? Where is this news? Can you show us this news? This doesn't even make any sense. Why are you being selective? Because you like the Iranian side? Forefathers, you gotta stop this nonsense.
Let me share something about David Barnier here that is on the news.
Listen, let's not go to David Barnier.
We don't have a lot of time. See, I speak the truth. You don't have a lot of time. We have less than 7 minutes. Yeah, you have 2 minutes to speak, please, because Sola needs to say something.
Now you want to take an opportunity to start talking about David Barnier. That was not my point. I did say, I said we don't know. What we do know is that the Mossad headquarters is gone. Shin Bet headquarters is gone. The stock
because the Mossad are in Iran. They are not in Israel. They are in Iran.
I said the office. Listen, stop crying and not knowing what you're talking about. The office is gone. That is what it is. The office is not in Iran. The office is right there in the middle of downtown Tel Aviv. Now, if we want to start talking about, you guys are on here saying Iran did not obey the rules and this is why they are getting bombed. Not true. Not true. They rightly signed with the JCPOA, the pact with America +5. They adhere to everything. We're going to enrich uranium up to 3.67%, not more than that, for commercial purposes, for economic purposes, for medical purposes. We're not going to go more than that. This Donald Trump that is in charge now, changing his mind every 2 seconds, came and destroyed that pact in 2018. Now comes in 2025 and is telling them to adhere to an agreement that does not exist. Tulsi Gabbard, the IAEA.
Okay, I think time is up. Let Iran speak.
I said Iran does not have nuclear weapons. Iran does not have the capabilities. Iran is not going.
We know that. We know that. Let's allow other people to speak.
Why are you?
Sorry. Other people need to speak. We don't have time. That's the reason why.
Okay, sorry.
Let me bring
evening.
Sola in. Sola.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Welcome. Got 2 minutes.
Yeah, regarding what you guys have been saying this morning, today has been fantastic, and everybody has their own point of view. I think I still agree with some of the school of thought of some people. Israel has a right to defend itself, no matter what. If Iran are sworn to destroy Israel. Also, I think Iran is using these nuclear or this uranium or whatever to more or less buy time for itself to protect itself from being dismantled by Israel or by the US, just the same way South Korea is doing and other places are doing. But I just feel that the IAEA, according to the report, I've not read it, so I'm only going by what some independent or few people on the opposite side, for and against, have said that they haven't, and Tulsi Gabbard as well has said that they are not even close to more or less building a weapon of mass destruction. So I just think this is just a Netanyahu's agenda from a long time, and I think that to be honest with you, I think sooner or later, with this Trump in government, he may, unquote, I'm not saying he will, he may achieve his aim to topple them. That's all I've got to say.
Fofana, you talk.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just trying to check it because some people, there was this, that's what I wanted to show earlier on about the Barnier. There was this headline about it. Let me just share it quickly so that that is him there, the Barnier head of Mossad. And there was a report by this channel, which is not verified, that he was killed, but there's no verification. But this was 4 days ago. Then 3 days ago, this sounds more like almost like a remembrance, but we don't know that for sure, because that is from an Israeli paper saying quietly transforming Mossad. They paved the way for the triumph in Iran.
Let me just one thing quick. If the war was going so well for Israel right now, they would not put in an emergency law where you would go to prison for almost 3 years if you show anything regarding the war to the rest of the world. So if you record anything happening in Israel with regards to the war and you post it on social media, there's no fines, you're going straight to prison. That does not happen to a country where people will come on here and say, oh, they're getting kicked around. No, they're not getting kicked around. Okay, they don't have an Air Force, agreed, but they have like the Su-300, they have surface air defense missiles. They have
the Su-300s that they bought from Russia that can't kick the
behind
of
you don't know
the
anything
train.
about the military, so it's okay. Stop pretending like you have any idea what's going on. So
Everybody should keep dreaming.
So they have all these things. I'm not picking a side. I'm not saying this person's going to win or that person's going to win, but the reality on the ground, Israel, yes, do they have the Air Force?
Come on, we know your side. You picked the side already, man. Come on, don't say that. Speak the truth. Come on.
Actually, I'm not picking a side. I'm not like you. I'm talking from a professional point of view. So they do not
Professional,
have
I think
they do not have the same aerial command that Israel has of the air, but they also actually have like the missiles, and if it was to come to ground forces, which will never happen, they have the numbers. If you're going to say someone like myself or AY are doing this based on maybe religious affiliation, what would you say of people like Bill Clinton? What would you say of people like
sorry. Hold on. Let's get to this in Centricast 2 minutes. Then first 2 minutes. Then we go to the next live. The next live is on.
What's up, man?
Generally, they allow the conversation to carry on for a while before they actually start discussing the topics of that live. So you will still have the opportunity to air your views on this matter. I wanted to talk about Benue, but it looks like this is too heavy. Centricast, welcome. 2 minutes, please.
He's mute.
Centricast, can you hear me? Go ahead, please.
He's big mouth. Tell him he's mute. Tell him he's mute.
Take my 2 minutes, if he's not ready.
Why are you cursing him now? He just came online and you're not cursing people already.
I said, tell him he's mute. Tell him he's mute.
No, you called me big mouth already.
He heard it from you.
Welcome, Centricast. 2 minutes. Go ahead, please. Tell us what you think about it.
Anyway, so hey, you guys need to grow up, man. You guys need
mean, I'm in my mid-40s. I don't know. You guys are probably older than me. Just act like a grown-up for once. All right? Stop being disrespectful. If you see me in real life, you're not going to say that in front of me. I'll knock you off, period. Anyways, you guys, especially Odin is straight up lying out here, talking about freedom. Like in Iran, women, you saw a video of a woman without a hair scarf. You know, she's not covering her face. She was saying, hey, the regime need to build a nuclear weapon. You saw that. We saw the video. Your fake accent. You know, why are you calling my name? Why can't you just talk about people there? Why are you talking
shut
about
the hell
me?
up,
man? You're spreading lies over here.
Don't worry,
you were very incoherent. You're spreading lies.
Wait, sir. You came in here.
You were spreading lies. You were very incoherent.
But why are you being personal?
I'm trying to rebuttal all the stuff you said.
You always personal every time now.
No, I'm going to rebuttal your points.
Hold it.
Nobody cares. I'm rebutting your points. And I'm saying all the things that you claim here. You know, there's freedom. There's freedom in Iran. The women.
Your fake accent. It's not.
They have more. They have a lot of educated women in that country. Okay, they have a lot of educated women in that country. They have freedom there. Just stop spreading all these lies, man.
Yeah,
they got freedom there.
More women engineers
more educated
than anyway. Exactly.
In the Middle East.
Exactly. I don't know why they keep spreading all these like backyard, all these palm wine bar lies. Come on, man. Like, knock it off. Listen, we all saw it. Israel went in there and bombed the country and killed their top generals. We saw that. All right. We saw how Soleimani. It's my turn. It's my turn. Just quiet down. Quiet down. We saw how. Nobody cares, man. Hey, you need to shut the hell up, dude. Shut the hell up.
We already finished anyway.
Yeah, get this guy out of here, man.
You need to put on your military uniform.
Let him go and sign up and fight for Iran.
You need to go. Odin, no. Clearly, Odin is a Odin is a sociopath. I mean, isn't it clear? Isn't it obvious? The guy's a sociopath.
Okay,
it's obvious.
Let's leave for now. If you want
He's talking about killing thousands of people. The guy's a freaking sociopath. He's just over here rambling. He's not even making any sense. He's just like rambling around. Come on, man.
Guys, calm down. Okay, let's not do this. Let's not finish.
No, you're gonna let this guy disrespect me. Like, come on, man. Don't do that.
I called them out for trying to do that in terms of, and they were not the one. It was our in short. Let me not call him out. Festus, please go have your say, please, so that we can.
Man, I'm gonna be very brief. For those that say there is no freedom in Iran, I've been to Iran 3 times.
Thank you. Tell them, baby.
Yeah. I actually met a girl while I was doing my MBA at UT, and we kind of, had some things going. So I went there. I've been there, 2 other times afterwards. And for anyone to say they don't have freedom in Iran, they are actually talking of their ass. You can, if you want, put on hijab, and a few other women don't put on. I mean, the girl I dated didn't put it on. So I think people need to travel out a lot more and stop listening to Western media, not just CNN, MSNBC, but even The Guardian, Times Radio, Washington, all those newspapers. They need to stop listening to those media. And I think Israel is in a bit of a bind because they can't defeat Iran. They can launch rockets from planes, but if you can't actually take the country, then you're not going to win. And it's also a different situation for the U.S. Israel needs the U.S. to step in with their B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. But that's not going to do anything because they've done that in Iraq. You need boots on the ground. The terrain of Iran is very mountainous. The population is 90-something million. The landmass is much bigger. So it's much more rugged than Iraq. And yet we know how bad Iraq was for the U.S. America that fought around 9/11 Iraq war was richer. The people had the zeal to go fight. Americans don't have that today. They are divided. And the U.S. is in trillions in debt, $34 trillion in debt. The economy is shaky. I don't think any American is going to allow their kids, their sons, their husbands, their brothers to go fight Israel's war in Iran. It's going to be very costly, very bloody. And to actually get your troops in Iran is actually difficult because from the Strait of Hormuz, that's water there. It's mountainous.
Mr. Festus, nobody is talking about putting boots on the ground. I don't understand this notion.
With all
Let the man
due
keep
respect,
talking, man.
with all
Like,
due
come on,
respect,
man.
with all due respect, with all due respect, sir,
Nor is the
I did
US
not
trying to take
I did
over.
not interrupt you when you were talking. So
Okay.
please respect
Okay.
yourself and keep
Okay,
quiet when I'm
absolutely.
talking, because I
The
didn't
man is been to
interrupt you.
Iran. The man is talking
Behave your
about
age,
Iran, but
sir.
you here wanting to
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You just said something that
You don't
America
even
is
know
not,
what
as
you're
if
talking about.
there's
Can't
any
do like let the
notion of
man
anybody
talk,
putting
man.
any boots on the ground.
I don't know your
Let's
name. I don't know your
let's
name, so I didn't mention your
let me
name.
just
So
end
respect
this.
yourself.
Let me
Sir,
just end
respect
this.
your age, sir.
We can kind of take a minute after this ended to finish what we are doing. Then we go to the next one. I'm just watching. Nobody has gone and joined the next live. I'm supposed to end it precisely this time. Thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate you guys.
8 p.m., right? Oh,
It's supposed to be 8 this thing, but they always want me to end precisely this time.
Why?
When it aligns.
Which live be done? Which next live be
The
done?
next live is it says I shared the link in the private chat. It's in the dilemma
Okay,
of
Fofana, can
retiring.
you give me 1 minute? You get over that 2 minutes. Let me.
You know, say
We don't have time left. We don't have any time left. We've already gone past 3
you brought
hours.
me in. I have not said any.
I was sent a message to just re-emphasize the fact that I need to end it now. And next time, what I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to be doing. If I want to go over time, I'll do the live feed on the other channel, because it looks like this is a hostile place to do that now. Because every time I go over time, they complain about it.
It's your channel live. Your channel is it live?
My channel is live right now, but I have to end this show now. The link is on the private chat. You need to go to the next show. They're going to start soon. It says 8. Was it not 8:30 or 8
p.m.? 8 p.m.
Is it not 8 p.m. now?
No, it's 7. It's 7 right now.
7
is it 8 p.m.
Yeah, but
UK
they
time
still
or 8
insist that I should
p.m.
end now. They
American
still
time?
insist I should end now. So I'm going to end now.
Who's insisting you got to end now?
Who's doing this military declaration?
Who is those people, sir? Okay, for that. Okay, can't you go backstage on your own life? Can't you go back on your life? Can't you go back on
I
your
guess we can do that. We could do that, but
because it is your own. It is your life. Me, I'm on your life right now.
Yes, but I could end it, but it makes sense. Let's just end it now. Then, if I want to start a new thing, I can start a new show after the ladies, if we needed to do that.
Yeah,
but the ladies session, they are going to discuss these things anyway. So they always start with what we ended with, then before they go into their main topic this is for the day. So gentlemen,
who's hosting the ladies session? Who's hosting the women's session? Who's hosting it?
I don't know necessarily. I don't want to guess. Yes, generally it's her. I can't be sure of that. I have to be certain about.
You never know.
Things.
How you gonna do it like a year?
All right. Let me try to close it. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in. And as you can see, discussion today has been quite high level. I really appreciate the conversation.
It was apart from the day that came to scatter everything.
Let's leave it. It has been quite high level. I thank you all for joining us in the chat. Boom, boom, light, a cool decay, wisdom always, blessed.
Sorry, I'm not in the next level. The link for the next level. I don't say I'm.
It's in the private chat. I thought I put it in the private chat. Okay,
it's not there. It's not in there.
Oh, I didn't put. Let me post it again.
There's nothing there.
It's there now. So that's it. And they may not start immediately. I think from what AY is saying, it's going to be just about.
So then why go to Russians for here now?
But we have to end this one because they say that I have to end this one. So that is it.
Or the soldier people.
Let me thank the people that nobody is donating. No, how maybe that's why they want to end it now. They have to pay people. Nobody is putting money in their pocket to donate, and only Kolata. The enemy of progress is the one that donates to the channel. How is that even possible? All these local supporters are not donating.
You need to learn to fact check people here. That was here today. They are crampies. They are protesting in Iran, and I said, give us the evidence.
Yeah, we did that. I tried to do that. He said so many things. It was hard to track.
I could not wait to tell him, man.
Madam Luke, thank you for joining us. Quinty A, Tiffany Morris, I see you there. Inkenna. Till next time, we will catch you guys. Let me play us out now with some Nigerian delicacy music.